Alright, so for those of you that are just going to start getting joined in a moment, we're going to be talking about State of Sea of Thieves as we play and fight some Eternal Guards. So, just give us a moment. Wait for my little co-host to get back. Hey, how you doing? How you doing tonight? Oh, and he's dead. Let's get back over there. So, lots to talk about with Sea of Thieves, which is why I kind of wanted to just do a stream rather than another video talking about everything. But we're going to give it a moment for him to get back on. And while we do that, we're just going to do some Eternal Guards, fight them, and hopefully have some good conversation. So feel free to join in the chat and talk about your thoughts on the state of Sea of Thieves currently. And let's see if we can fight some Eternal Guards. So, what's going on? I guess I'll start off. One of the things I will say, I know there's a lot of negative news about Sea of Thieves right now. I'm very excited for the Ashen Garrisons to come into the game, because that's something I've been waiting for, even though I've heard some mixed things about it. I haven't actually looked too much into it outside of the trailer and the insider post, but it does look pretty cool, and as someone that is one of my favorite content is the sea forts in the game, I am at least looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good addition. So I don't really want to get too far into the discussion before my co-host can get his mic back on, but let me see what you're saying. If the Grand Maritime Union update is bad, then I'll start getting concerned. I feel like that is like a must-succeed project for them that they have to get right. And they should have done more with Flame Hearts and new forts. Yeah, I'm waiting to try it out in Insiders. I'm waiting till like maybe like the week before it comes out, and I'm gonna make a guide for it and stuff. But the trailer and stuff I thought looked cool, but it does just look like a bigger sea fort, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's not really a new thing. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I can see why other people will not like it.
Our souls are chained forever. You have no power over me, respecters.
Season 18 is just getting kind of a dud, honestly. I mean, like, these new Eternal Guards are pretty cool. I'm excited for the Ashen Garrisons, but what they really needed to do is have the Ashen Garrisons come out first, and then this be the third month's content with the Eternal Guard. Having the Eternal Guard be like the main Season 18 content is just not a good idea. I don't know how to use that thing.
Spiders will stand.
Come on, guys. I've been taking too long of a break from Sea of Thieves apparently. It's like my buttons are not working. I did see the leaks about the new season, though. It's looking pretty good. I'm a little worried that they're going to just be reskinned skeleton ships. That's my biggest worry. But if they're like how I talked about in that concept video, where it's like a fleet battle, like not necessarily a skeleton fleet battle, but like where it's like a fleet of them that are sailing across the world, like kind of like how the Roman skeleton ships are, but they're like moving as like one giant group. I think that would be pretty cool. It just really depends on how they use it. I think if they made it so that you can actually like board them and stuff, like you can board skeleton ships, but if like you could board them kind of like player ships almost, like AI players, that would I think be really cool and could be a pretty good idea. I talked a little bit more about that in that concept video, but that I think would be an interesting thing for them to do with the Grand Maritime Union. Hold on, let me look at the skeleton real quick. Read that. Just want them to take a couple months with no new added features and just focus on primary game health, but that's not possible apparently. See, the problem is I hear that from a lot of people, and I don't necessarily disagree, but every time we've had those seasons, not only does everyone complain about it, but it also just ends up being for nothing, because like the next season breaks everything again, and then we have the same discussion of how we need bug fixes and stuff. So like, I get it, but like look at season 9 for example. Season 9 one of our longest seasons ever. It was mainly a bug fixing season. No one liked it. It took way too long. And I don't know, it just wasn't. There's roaming ships, but they're not reskins. You can alliance with them, apparently, according to data mine. That could be really cool. I hope they can pull it off. I'm hoping it doesn't turn into some of these past seasons where basically things just get cut at the end of it, because that's been the problem. Like, I was thinking about something earlier today about like season 14, essentially. Oh, thanks for becoming a member. But anyways, I was thinking about something with season 14, which is one of the seasons that I'm a little bit, you know, find a little bit more special, just because I like the sneaking around and tucking stuff. And I did not supply it before I came on here, by the way. But like things like the disguises, those should have been like a game changer, a great thing. But because they didn't go through with what their original plan was, let me back up real quick, then it kind of just ruins it, just because they don't really have like the thing that would have made it a good feature.
Right, I'm here, my bad.
Hey, by the way, we're streaming. I was just talking with chat for a bit.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Oh, could you hear me? I wasn't sure if you could hear me or not.
I mean, I could hear you talking, but I don't know what you're saying because I had my headset off. I was,
Gotcha.
hey, and you did that, trying to get you to stop, and you wasn't stopping.
I wasn't looking at my screen until I saw it, and then I'm like, oh,
I did that like 5 different times, bro, before you.
I was trying to get the stream set up.
You're good.
I was looking at my other screen.
Well, at first I thought you didn't realize
weird,
I wanted you to stop when I was doing that. I was like, surely he knows that means stop.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
When I figured it out, I was like, oh, let's turn around. Yeah, I don't know. The stream thing was being super weird tonight. Like, I had to go a whole different way, and then it started streaming, but then it streamed for like 5-month-old stream instead of like the new one I created. It's been a mess. But yeah, we got a few people in chat. We got 6 people right now, so that's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Have you been following what's been going on with Sea of Thieves? Like, with this past week?
Me?
Yeah.
I know they pushed back the release or whatever, but
Yeah,
I've been like
that guessing got
very
delayed.
well.
But they basically canceled season 19, the next season. Like, the content that they already had developed for it, even though it was already ready, like, I played the new, like, content update for season 19, like, a month and a half ago on Insiders. I'm trying to find some barrels for food. But,
That's what
that was, yeah, that was, like, it was pretty much done. And I don't know why they canceled it and just, like, not did anymore. They basically said that their thought is that they don't want to have these smaller updates anymore that aren't as meaningful. So they're trying to go towards like bigger updates. So they basically canceled all the content for season 19 except for the Last Ship Standing, like Hourglass, LTM and stuff. And then there's like some Hourglass improvements that are coming. But I don't know. A lot of people have been getting worried about the state of Sea of Thieves, and I'm now starting to get concerned too.
I've been worried about it for a while, dude. I told you that a long time ago.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to like be optimistic. Like I thought this new oh, by the way, there's dropping this whole I'm about to die here. They're dropping the whole season model
Bring it back
that
over
they've been
about
doing.
this ammo crate.
Yeah, I'm coming over. I'm gonna have to hop on the ship because I can't find any barrels with food.
That's fine. Just go till you die. We'll just pick each other up.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, so they tried it for 2 seasons. They were gonna do this whole thing where it's like you have like a good amount of content in the first month, then the second month is gonna be like a limited time event, and then the third month is gonna be like updating something that already exists in the game. They did that for 2 seasons and gave up, and now they're saying, oh well, we're just gonna cancel season 19 so that we can focus on, you know, I guess bigger updates. But I'm just like, why cancel the content you already have developed when the main thing that everyone's saying is that you're not dropping enough content?
Yeah.
Did you see any of those like skeleton mercenaries that could pick up on this island?
I picked up one of them. He's right here.
Oh.
I don't know where the guy is. Where's the,
Last time I saw him, he was on the other side. There's an ammo crate over there, so we could just run over there.
Is there, where's it? Okay, I don't know where the one there is.
There's like a bunch of barrels at the bottom there we could use. Let me read some more of the chat. Oh. At least here's all the skeletons coming. Oh! And they got me. So I already got leaked that Grand Maritime Union's going to be the Season 20 update. Hopefully
So what
that's
is?
good. The Grand Maritime Union, it's kind of the stuff that they've been setting up in the story with the Sovereign.
Hoping now that he's went ethereal again.
Oh, well, this is gonna kill me. I'm dead again.
Where you at? I don't even see you.
Freaking geyser shot me above you.
I see you right here. It's slowly coming over this way.
Yeah, we'll guide him over. Crap. Let me grab the ammo pouch. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I'm kind of wondering what Thieves he's gonna do. I'm just gonna get a fairy at this point. Get some more food. It's getting annoying with each skeleton shot. Yeah, and they also canceled the Kraken update that they were doing, which is kind of annoying because they were gonna update the Kraken for next season. I feel like what's gonna happen though is that they're gonna do season 20 with the Grand Maritime Union, and then they're gonna probably, my guess is, move towards like a No Man's Sky type of route where they just have like updates whenever they're ready, I guess. And then there's no.
Well, that's what they were
timeline for
doing
them.
there for a while. They didn't have like. They didn't
Yeah,
put it
back
on
in the
there.
beginning of the game, that's what they did.
I mean, pretty much before they started the seasons, they would just announce when they were going to release new content. It wasn't like a guaranteed.
I think the only reason that they're doing the seasons is because they want to sell the Plunder Pass. I feel like that's the main thing, the reason like they haven't abandoned it. But if they're not getting good content, I mean, they can keep doing the Season Pass if they just start delivering bigger updates. I don't know, I have mixed feelings. It really depends on like how the updates actually go. But like it's worked out like with Lego Fortnite. They had that big content update. I know you haven't played it yet, but I'd rather get like something like that for Thieves where it's like a massive content update than just all these like little piecemeal, quickly made updates. Oh, I got a super chat. The Fish of Fortune update will save the game 100%. Yeah, definitely Fish of Fortune.
The Fish of Fortune.
I think he's talking about the fishing festival event, maybe, or maybe just.
Okay. I was thinking like maybe there's an Athena fish coming out, Fish of Fortune. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe there is. That'd be better than what they've been doing, which is nothing. Hopefully this doesn't. Oh, he said it's a meme.
Oh, okay.
There is like a fishing festival coming out next season, from what I heard. It's the same one they had in the past. They're just reusing it.
Dude,
again.
that one last year, we got like 300 of our Hunter Calls levels from.
Really?
Yeah, we did it. So me and my buddy, that's how we got 500 Hunter Calls so fast. We did did all three of his, all three of mine. I have access to a buddy's account. We did all three of them, and then he had an alt account. We did it on, and I think we ended up doing like 15 of those voyages all together, dude.
Yeah.
And we were getting so much rep.
Alright, here's one thing I was gonna ask you. So like, one of the other things I've been thinking about recently with all this is I feel like one of the biggest problems is just the game. They like have so much almost loot in the game, and also supporting like the old content and stuff. I almost feel like it needs like a reset for Sea of Thieves. Like, not really like what Overwatch 2 was, because that was a train wreck, but kind of where it's like the next version of the game. Not keep like the same game itself, but like remove support for Xbox One. Maybe we remove some of the content that no one plays, like the Skull Siren song, and just clean up the game. I think. I don't know. What would you like think about that?
Well, they're at a point now. So this is like, I mean, I've told you this before. Well, it's not recorded anywhere. The problem that they're at now is like with any game that is successful, and I would say, by and large, Sea of Thieves has been a successful game.
Oh, it's good, bad.
Yeah, the problem they have is like, what can you do that's actually new content that's not going to break your game? So, for example, like to do something drastically different,
Yeah.
they may need a whole new island or a whole new like Like, so when they introduced sea forts, there was empty space in the map. Now there's really no empty. Like, they had to do the underwater thing because they were running out of space.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I
What
suggested maybe
with
doing in the past was like make it so
Well, can I
that you
finish my
have.
thought? Can I finish my thought? Can I finish my thought?
Yeah. Sorry. I was just reacting
so,
to the space thing.
Yeah, you're fine. So it's like, what do you do to get to? What do you do that's actually new? And it's not just recycled, because even with this new thing me and you've looked at, like, it's a bunch of different things combined. There's not really any new things happening per se.
Yeah, for sure. That's
And
been basically all
so
the
it's
updates.
like, I think that's where they're stuck at. So you're like a victim of your own success, to where it's like nobody's going to be happy because it's just recycled content. Short of, like, you hear people saying, "Oh, you need a new map." Well, that's easier said than done. And then what happens to all the old commendations that you have that people are working on, and like they can't go back and get on, and like it just, you know what I'm saying, it's not that simple of make a new map.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily want a new map because I like having the history of like I'd rather
Yeah, that's
see
what I'm
like,
saying,
the
yeah.
map get upgraded or
To what though? To what?
well
That's my point. Like, they have no
one of
more
the things
space.
well, one of the things that I talked about like a couple years ago that I think would be cool to see is by the way, do you want to just go sell this or do you want to keep looking for them and like kind of stack
Yeah,
them
we
up?
can do both. As we're selling past islands, we can shoot off.
If you want to shoot off with this one, I'll keep,
Where are we at? Oh, over to the right here.
yeah, pretty big one. But so one of the things I talked about before is potentially making it so like we almost have like seasonal regions. So like you have like different like basically during say the summertime the Devil's Roar is available. Then maybe during like the wintertime there's like the ice like an ice region towards like the south or north or something. And then like and then maybe like during the spring there's like a swampy region. And then those could just like be like basically enshrouded into the shroud at different points in the year. That way it's like not making the map too big, but you're kind of having different regions that are available at different parts of the year. So it's like kind of a way to expand.
That is like, if you don't get those accommodations done, you have to wait a whole year to get them.
It could,
That'd
but
be
it
pretty
wouldn't be like
annoying.
it wouldn't be like limited time content like what they've been doing a lot. It'd be like seasonal content essentially. But yeah, for accommodation hunters, that it would be annoying to do that.
I think if they're going to do something like that, I think they should just rotate it out every month or something. The way it's like 4 times a year you can do each one.
Someone's saying in here that we need some Reaper fish. Flameheart needs one thing, and that thing is more fish.
Yeah. I don't see anything on Silent, by the way, worth something.
I don't think an ice region would fit Sea of Thieves very well. Bit swampy region, I'm actually a fan of that idea. Swamp region I think would be pretty cool. I had some like concept art in that video. I thought would be interesting. Another person said, you know, a lot of fans I've seen complain about things getting boring, but then when they add time limit events, people complain that are not permanent. Idea how to meet in the middle. Problem with the time limited events is a lot of them I feel like only work because they're time limited. Like if you had like say mega stashes, like the Reaper Fort mega stashes, and had that permanent, well then Reaper Forts would be boring because there's no reason, no incentive to like, get it done. I don't know. What do you think about the time limited stuff? Ooh.
So it's easy to do it. So it's hard. The key difference between time limited and permanent events is people say that like, oh well, if this was permanent, I would like it, but it's like no, you wouldn't. You would have done it like so. Say if something lasts a month and you're done with it in 2 weeks and you don't play it again because you finished it. That would be garbage permanent content because it's just like the Skull of Siren Songs. Everybody got their 50 and nobody messes with it again, and it's just annoying.
For sure.
So in order for like, so that could have been a limited time event, and they could have brought it around every couple months, so people could still get their accommodations. But like, so something that works for a limited time event might be great for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but in the long term, it could be like, man, this is garbage content. So it's not that simple. And as far as like meeting in the middle, the only way to do that would be kind of like rotating stuff like on a monthly basis, like. Or a weekly basis, or whatever they want to do. To like, so like he was set, like have certain events going on during different seasons on the seas, and just like days go by faster in this game, seasons could go by faster. Maybe a season passes in a month instead of 3 months, or a couple weeks, or whatever. and those limited time events turn into permanent events during its season, and that way it keeps the game feeling new and fresh or whatever.
Yeah, I think honestly,
then-
one thing that would also help with those limited time events that they've been doing for like 1 month is maybe just make it go out through the whole season, like kind of what you're saying. I think it's like,
Well, yeah, but I think they give us adequate amount of time to finish those limited time events. Like, I don't think extending the time would make them any better per se. Like that one they did where we were having to get that painting and go sell it or whatever. Remember?
yeah,
Like we were done with it and we were done with it in a few days. Like it's not like, I mean, I think they give us ample amount of time to finish them.
just gonna jump off of this.
Yep.
We could head east towards Ruby Falls. I think that's what it's called.
Okay. But I don't know. I don't know what y'all think about that, but yeah.
Yeah, you had a few people in the chat agreeing with you. I think just part of the problem is I feel like some of the limited time content, like the Molten Sands Fortress thing that's going on, I've seen some people talk about how that should be permanent, but the problem is, it looks like I just got my selling finished, unless that's a different combination.
Check it and see. We can always take them to the.
Yeah. I think the problem with the limited time events is they're not like very polished, and a lot of them are just like recycled content just put together. It's not like something that you'd actually want to be permanent. I think the only reason people want to be permanent is because there's not really that much going on in the game right now. There's like in terms of like good content being added.
And that goes back to what I was saying. It's like your game's been going on so long. Like to actually come up with something new and fresh, it would have to be like almost game breaking to where like I don't know. I can't think of like a example, but I think y'all get what I'm saying. As far as like one of a couple things is going to happen. You're either have to change your map up to make the game feel new and fresh, and people aren't going to like that. Well, there's going to be a slew of people that do and a slew of people that don't like it, and then or what'll happen is like you remember whenever they came out with like there's certain pieces of loot like when they came out with Chest of Fortune, it's worth double. It was worth double what anything else is worth. So that's kind of game breaking from a stance of that's really the only thing worth getting anymore. Like it's not even that big a deal. You remember at one point like stealing Athena was a huge deal, and now it's like whoop-de-doo, I stole an Athena.
I talked about
And
that
like
a little while ago.
it's like they have to continue to raise the bar of like how good their loot is. But then what you run into is obviously to get better loot, you should have to work harder for it. So say if they come out with something better than a Chest of Fortune, it should take more time and it should be harder to get than the Chest of Fortune. And like a Chest of Fortune should be harder to get than Athena. Well, they've run out of stuff to do, so they just throw all the stuff in here together. But and then say if they did come out with something that was a lengthy thing and it was like took a long time to do, then people complain about, oh, I don't have time to do this. Da, 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 da. Well, not all content is made for every player, and like I think if they would introduce stuff that had, I think they need stuff with mechanics. Like I don't know, like back when I used to play Destiny 1, they had raids, and there were certain mechanics you had to do, and if you didn't do those raids, it's not like you just sit there and, like everything in this game for the most part is just put damage on it long enough and it'll die.
Yeah.
There's nothing special you have to do per se. Like the ethereal guy,
that just popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's fine. Is this a small island or a big island?
This big island. This is the island.
Okay.
I'm gonna just go slowly away, so don't make.
That's fine.
See
You
them
might want to grab that hole. You might want to fix that hole too.
I'm fixing it all.
So basically, what I'm saying is like there needs.
By the way, they are saying you're
content-
speaking nothing but facts, just so you know.
Well, I appreciate that. And so, like, they need to come out. Like, when they come out with new content, it needs to be if they're not going to come out with stuff on a regular basis. So I think they need to do, but they need to come out with. They need to come out with a limited time event to keep people appeased, to keep them playing. People just have to understand that this content may not be the best content, but it's just something new while we're working on our good content. And once they go through a few cycles of that, the fans will appreciate, like, okay, they're doing this, but there's something good coming. And then twice a year, they release something massive. It's got new mechanics, there's new enemies, and like, oh, by the way, this is in-game content. And like, they need to do something where maybe you need 6 pirates or something to do, but like in order to get to this, like just like they take us to a world like they take us to like a world like a tall tale, like maybe you have to like solve a puzzle and your whole team runs through, and then you're in a world where like 6 pirates can be on the same team, and it takes all 6 of you doing different mechanics to like beat this stuff, and like you get that loot or whatever once you get done. That's the only way to get it done, just for an example. don't
I got
know,
Skeleton Galleon over here. I can barely see it from the fog. Did you
yeah,
throw a guard over there?
I was running around, but I didn't see anything. But it was really foggy. So
You get a chance to come back. I hate these Galleon guys.
you got a guy in there.
They're saying Skeleton Galleon. They're saying that you need a job at Rare now. Yeah, but no, I feel like, you know, one of the reasons that the first model that Sea of Thieves went with when the game first came out, where it was like the campaigns, but then like small monthly updates, like, or just had like very little content. The reason that didn't work is just when the game first came out, there
bro,
really
we're
wasn't much to
almost
do.
sunk down here, dog. You might want to get down here. That's fine, I got it.
That's just a little water. It didn't hurt him.
That was my second bucket, bro. we
But,
were
like,
up to we were.
Yeah.
Good. What are you saying?
I was just gonna say, I feel like that new model, or that model that they started the game off with, it could work now, because the reason it didn't work back then was because, like, they didn't have enough content at the beginning of the game, so they just had to start rushing to get content out. Now the game does have, like, a good backlog of content from the last, like, 8 years. So, like, they could take their time to make something, like, massive changes.
Hey, dude, I'm just gonna jump over to the ship.
Yeah, good. I'm gonna turn away if there's a black powder keg. I'm gonna start going away.
Well, there's a powder keg. So you might want to go away.
Yeah, I think they're like, stuck on. I gotta repair this though. We should be turning away though. You should be good now. Hopefully. But yeah, I think after season 20, after they get this Grand Maritime Union thing out, I think they should just move to that model. Just, you know, have like limited time events or smaller.
Everybody, you're starting hard away.
Sorry, I was yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. You're repairing.
I think it could work now. What do you think about that? Going back
Well,
to
and they
that
also
model.
need to. Well, they need to stick to what they're doing too. And like,
They've changed their plan like 3 times in the past like 24 or 12 months. It's like stupid. That's why I was really pissed the other night when I made a video talking about these changes. Okay, we should be good, I think. Let me catch up on some chats. It's actually annoying because the cosmetics have been getting recently have been data mined like 2 or 3 years ago. They've just been drip feeding cosmetic content. Yeah, I really don't know what's going on with Rare. Like, it's just like they've given up the past few years, I feel like.
Well, I'll be honest, ever since, what was his name, Joe Neat, or however you say his name? Since he stopped doing the updates, I feel like the quality of content has fell off. I felt back when he used to do it, so that makes me wonder if their whole creative team changed whenever they switched that.
Mike Chapman's still there. I think he was like one of the big original guys. But I don't,
he was,
I don't know what happened to
I
Joe
think
Neat.
like, I don't know what happened to him, but I'm saying I think he may be, but I think behind the scenes, I think a lot of people have changed, and it's just not the same team anymore.
Yeah. I feel bad, like, I don't know if you know Drew, who like does like a lot of like the technical videos. Anytime there's a delay, they send him out, and everyone gets mad at him, and I'm like, guys, it's just one guy. He's not the whole reason why the game is the state it is.
Yeah, dude, I can't see it. I
know, I'm hoping I'm not running into any islands, but...
Well, there's supposed to be an island right here.
I think that's the island we're just at. I'm going north.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna run around. What also, it's like, I don't mean to just like trash the game. I think everybody gets frustrated because they're not. I think my frustration, and I feel like a lot of people's is, because like you'll see the people that's like, oh, just be happy we have a game to play. It's not that I'm not happy, but it's like, I love the game so much, I want to see it succeed, and whenever they're not coming out with good content, I know it's slowly killing the game over time. And now we're working on a couple years of not really good new content. Yeah. And like the player base is getting lower and lower and lower, and eventually, at the end of the day, if Rare's not making any money, they're going to stop making the game. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I've been saying. Like, I get so many comments sometimes, especially this past week when I made a pretty negative video talking about, you know, this cancellation and stuff. And people would be like, "Oh, why is this guy just hating on the game? I hate these like Rare or Sea of Thieves haters. They are being so weird because they just keep talking trash about the game." I'm like, no. My whole channel is built around Sea of Thieves. I want Sea of Thieves to be successful and to grow. So I'm going to talk about things and criticize things that I think are hindering its growth and hindering its potential. I There's like a
And
difference between hating something and then criticizing something, at least in my book. I'm gonna jump off on this left island, by the way. So if you want to come back, there's another island up ahead you can go to.
Yeah, I don't even know if I ran this while or not, but yeah, let me find some water somewhere, and then it's so dark, it's so foggy over here, bro. I can't even find the water.
Luckily, we're out of fog. Listen, when this game is good, it's really good, and when it's bad, it's really bad. You're not wrong. There's been some bugs that have been in the game for too long that they definitely need to fix, and I think that's one of the biggest problems. And Barnacle said,
Well, also,
at least get more creative criticism. I appreciate that. I try to be.
Yeah, and then like as far as that goes with them moving creative people around or whatever, they have no long-term vision because there's people not there. Like they used to know, like they have a roadmap, and I feel like now they're just like they just like get in a conference room maybe, and they're like, "Hey guys, what new things can we do?" And it's not really like long-term planned out. Not like it's. I don't know. I just feel like they don't. They just abandon the ship with holes in it. What are we doing here?
I thought we were all covered. But there's no
there's two
right here.
holes there. But anyway,
I'm coming back. Anyways.
Trolling your own teammate, just gonna let us sink like that, huh? That's what we're doing?
I just
New
like to see
content.
how far I can push your
Troll your
buttons.
teammate. Troll your teammate. New content.
Hey, if they're not gonna make content for us, I gotta make the content.
I hear you. Oh. But
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to answer your one guy that said, "Do we blame Microsoft or Rare or both?" That's the
you can see
problem
the chat?
nowadays. Is yeah, I pulled it up. You don't know who to blame. It's like our government wanting both parties to fight whenever they're the ones that are the bad guys, and we should be fighting them. But anyway, that's my bad. That's a whole different topic. Oh,
Well, honestly,
Anyway.
I think you could blame mostly Rare
But,
because Microsoft has a history of like giving a lot of free reign to their studios, which is why a lot of projects like kind of go nowhere because they're not really like taking charge of them.
but that's what I'm saying. You don't know what's happened behind closed doors. You don't know how much free reign they actually have versus what people are saying. And because doesn't Microsoft own Rare now or no?
Yeah, they fully own Rare.
So they actually own Rare. It's not like they're dealing with Activision, who is their own entity. It's not like
Yeah.
Activision is holding to a contract. Like Microsoft can be like, "Oh yeah, Rare. If you don't want me to do, I'll just cancel the game. Like it's my I own Rare. Like I'll just get rid of these positions." So I feel like Rare has a way. Like they could be just like I don't know if any of y'all are part of Destiny 2's launch that was terrible. Activision pushed Bungie to come out with the game, and Bungie told them that game was not ready to come out, and the game was a horrible launch. It was the worst experience. I would have never been on Sea of Thieves if Destiny 2 would have been as good as Destiny 1. Never would have been on Sea of Thieves. And so you don't know if it's Microsoft's fault or Rare's. Regardless, though, now that Microsoft owns Rare, it's all one company, really. They may be different like companies, but there's one big company.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've
So-
owned Rare since like 2000, so
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's
Yeah.
not like it's two just separate companies, like. And you don't know how much creative licensing everything they do, they may have to pass off on Microsoft. They may have to present it to them as like, hey, this is the direction we want to go. And Microsoft's own creative team could be in there saying, no, we're not going to let you do that. Or on the flip side, Rare could have free reign and they're just not coming out with stuff. So we're not in the meeting, so we will never know like who's to blame. But regardless, Microsoft and Rare, they're both responsible for this game. So I would say they're both to blame at the end of the day.
yeah. I feel like, honestly, what my conspiracy theory of what's happening behind the scenes that we are not, privy to knowing is that Microsoft basically has given them free reign, but now that the game has been almost in the toilet for a while now, and they're probably seeing player counts decrease as well as revenue decrease from the game, they probably told Rare, hey, you need to kick into gear or else we're like ending this. Maybe they'd say like you have like a year or else we're cutting it off. And that's kind of what I think. That's why I feel like they made such a sudden change. Because it's kind of weird, like, you're 2 weeks away from releasing this content to just all of a sudden just get rid of it, even though it's probably, like, in its, like, polishing stages. It probably is almost done. Or might already be done. To not, like, finish and release it seems to me like something major happened behind the scenes where it's like Microsoft came in and said, like, hey, y'all need to get your act together, type of thing. That's at least what I'm kind of imagining behind the scenes.
Yeah. But this is why they always tell streamers and people that do content, etc. It is very dangerous to put yourself in one game category, like where you can't branch out to another game. Because this, like, make no mistake, we might all love this game. I love this game. I haven't been playing this game near as much as I used to play it. I don't think anybody has, because the game is dying. It's slowly dying. It's dying a slow death. And the reality is games have a lifespan. Like, this game's not going to last forever, and who knows, maybe Rare can't save it, and it's just going to slowly die out. And, like, that'll be unfortunate, but that's just the life of video games, you know? I mean, everybody's been through it. Like, 10 years ago, this wasn't your favorite video game. The fact that this game has lasted as long as it has, I feel like, is, like, a huge accomplishment for Rare. They should be proud of that. Even if the game does die, they should be proud of how long this game lasted, because I think when they originally made it, they didn't think this game was going to be as big as it is, I don't think.
Yeah, man, I'm sure they hoped it, but, like, yeah, that first year, they probably thought they were going to get canceled with how poor the reviews were when the game first came out. So, the fact that they were able to recover from that and actually have, like, a pretty good renaissance, I would say, back in, like, the 2020 time, like, 2020, 2021, when they're having those, like, big monthly updates with Ships of Fortune and stuff, and Part of Fire, things like that. There's a lot to be, you know, thankful for with Sea of Thieves. And I think the hardest part with Sea of Thieves, like, and, like, why it hurts so much to see them struggle this bad is that there's not really any other game that is like Sea of Thieves, in the sense that, like, I don't have any other PvP type game experience that's similar to Sea of Thieves, in my opinion. I think Arc Raiders has filled that for some people. I've looked at it. I don't know if it'd be really my cup of tea, but there hasn't been another game.
Well, I've played Arc Raiders a lot. And Arc Raiders is what you make it. So the thing that Arc Raiders has done is they have aggression-based matchmaking in their game. So say if you're always shooting people as soon as you see them, you slowly start getting matched against more and more aggressive people that shoot on sight. If you never shoot anybody, you get in friendly lobbies. And, like, I've seen videos of, like, there'll be like 10 raiders standing around, like they have little flutes and little guitars, and they'll all be standing around having like an in-game concert. Like, if you walk out in some of the lobbies that I'm in with those things, they're just going to drop you. They're not going to worry about what you're doing. And
do you think that could work?
But anyway, so that's Arc Raiders. But, like, so
do you want to shoot off here, or do you want me to?
Hang on. Yeah, I can. I don't think so, because Sea of Thieves has a player base problem right now. They don't have that many players playing their game, to be honest, overall. So I don't see one over here on the side. I think it's the only side that really shows up on.
Sometimes it shows up on this side and in the middle, like towards the east from you. But I'll take a look when I come around the edge here.
Yeah, I looked as I shot. I looked all across there where it spawns out. But what was the question? My bad, I got sidetracked.
Basically, do you think that aggression matchmaking system from Arc Raiders could work in Sea of Thieves?
Oh, no, I don't, because I don't think the player base is high enough.
Yeah. That's why I think these Hourglass improvements are going to be a failure, to be honest.
Well, and also, Arc Raiders there's a timer on each round, so you have to come in and out of that game. And it's an extraction game. You don't extract from Sea of Thieves, you just go sell. So, say if you're going to get on and play, say if you're going to play for 5 hours, you're going to get on your ship, and if you don't get sunk, you're going to be on the same server for 5 hours, or you may dive around and do whatever you're trying to do. But it's not like you're coming in and out. Like, there's not like a 30-minute time where you come in and out. So it's totally different in that aspect, where, like, the aggression-based matchmaking, I don't think would work very successfully at all, because you'd have some dead servers while you're waiting on other, like, aggressive people or friends. In order for there to be loot on the server to steal, you got to have some people that want to do PvE content. If you get put in with 5 other aggressive people, everybody's going to be shooting everybody, and there's going to be no loot to sell.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So I think it's just different. And as far as there not being a game, there's not a game like this because it's set in a pirate world. Okay, there are games like this that are kind of like this per se. There's some totally separate worlds, and people don't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Like, and what I mean by that is, this game is a PvEVP or PvPvE, whichever way you want to say it.
Yeah.
Adventure game, sandbox game is what it is. There's tons of games that are PvPvE sandbox games. They're just not a pirate game. So, like, for example, Call of Duty had DMZ mode. I get that it was an extraction. And you had quests. You went in. You had quests to do. And there was both players could kill you, and there was PvE that could kill you. So, like, while the games are totally different, as far as it being a PvPvE adventure game, it's kind of the same, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
They're just different worlds, and that's why nobody correlates, because like there's no pirate game, and a lot of people just want another good pirate game, and I think that's why like you've seen a lot of the Sea of Thieves games. Whenever I think that game is called Crosswinds. It's the survival pirate game that's be coming out. A lot of the people that I know at Sea of Thieves are like excited about that game, but like it hasn't come out yet. 1, 2. I don't know if it's going to be on console, or I don't think it's going to be on console right away. I'm not sure. And but like there's no, but back to the point of there are games like this that just not in the pirate world, and you have to hit it right on the head. Like Sea of Thieves is such a good game overall. Like if you've never played Sea of Thieves and you got introduced to it, like just the overall aspect of the game is so good.
Yeah.
And it would be hard to recreate this. Like I feel like Sea of Thieves is a game. It's like one of one. Like, if there was 5 different games that were really good like this, I think your player base would just be so stretched out that none of them would really be considered that successful.
Yeah, no, I
don't know, I
agree
could be
with
wrong.
that.
But
I agree with that. I feel like a game like Sea of Thieves could work in other genres. Like, I think a space one. I don't know that much about No Man's Sky. I think there might be some similar aspects to Sea of Thieves and No Man's Sky.
but
like, it could work
No
in
Man's
like
Sky is a
other
survival
genres.
game.
Yeah, I know there's like it's like a PvPvE type thing, and I think so. No Man's Sky. I'm gonna shoot off here unless you want to.
I'll go.
You go. Okay.
Or you go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go there.
Might be running out of islands soon. I think Martyr's Arch is like the only other one I can think of where it spawns at.
Alright.
We could probably dive to a smuggler voyage if we want, because that'll take us back to Devil's Roar into a new server.
Yeah.
They actually did kind of admit in the video finally after like 2 years of this that the diving mechanic is hurting the game because of people like going in and out of servers too quickly. So then it makes just servers feel empty. Which is something I've been saying for years, but then all the PvEers get mad at me for that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. As much as like PvEers are like, man, I don't want to fight anybody. They don't even realize it, but part of the fun of this game is like, there's always that threat you could lose your stuff. Because like that's why you're like, man, yes, I got all this stuff sold. And I get it. But like that's why like a complete safer seas, if you got the same exact loot value and everybody was on safer seas, this game would die so fast. Because what really keeps this game going, you can go look at all the clips on YouTube on anything. And what's kept this game going is the player interactions with each other. Whether it's PvP, whether it's friendly, whatever.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, yes, I do think overall diving has made quality of life better for individual pirates, but overall, I think it has hurt the game.
Yeah,
I think there should be less avenues to dive. I don't think you should be able to dive as much, and it would keep your servers fuller.
I think so too. I think that's the single biggest thing that's hurt the game the most. But I think honestly, I feel like making the game too easy in certain ways. Like I feel like the Sovereign, while it's nice for us, like I've gotten used to like just going up, selling stuff real quick. There's something to be said about when it used to take a little while to go and sell to the different trading companies, and then like you have to be able to worry about like another ship might be coming up soon. If there's a ship even like an island away and I go and sell to Sovereign, that stuff's being sold instantly. No ship is catching up before I sell that. That's how. That's
or like used to if you sank somebody. I would be a fan of this as far as for PvP. I don't think ships should. I think you should get one spot. If you get sunk, you know how ships will spawn close to you or whatever, and like you may not even have the stuff. If they had a bunch of loot, you may not have all the stuff out of the water yet before they get back. I think that they should spawn close enough to where they can fight for their stuff once.
Yeah.
After that, they should spawn them on the other side of the map. But
Yeah.
with that being said, if you had to sell it the old way, even if they did spawn on the other side of the map, you would be able to still get back over there before they got all your stuff sold. They would just have it all on board.
Yeah.
And I don't like that I have to sink somebody 4 times to sell their stuff. Even with the sovereign, sometimes they just like, it's like, what is happening? Like, get them, like, I've sank them 2-3 times. Like, get them out of here.
That's kind of, I feel like when we do, like, say, like the Molestan Fortress event and stuff, when there's just so much, like, little crap inside the fort that it takes, like, an hour to get everything out and then load it onto the ship. But then it's, like, instant to sell. It's, like, kind of a weird dichotomy with that. But
No, actually, after you sell it, it's no longer yours there, sir.
yeah.
It's only yours while it's on your ship.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like in some ways they made the game too easy, and like, while people on the servers are like, oh no, I want all these things, it makes the game easy, but then when you really think about it, some of what the magic of this game was, like, I remember times where me and my friend, we stole the Chest of Legends from a group at the Fort of the Dam, and then we were getting chased all the way to the outpost, and we were like, we jumping off our ship while them are chasing right behind us, and we're running with the Chest of Legends up to the tavern. With the Sovereign, it just makes it so much easier to sell, but you lose those kind of memories, like, of us, like, running up and, you know, almost getting caught with it and stuff. Like, it's just not the same anymore. I think that's really ruined a lot of the game. By the way, there's nothing here. We can go ahead and dive.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, and also, hang on, let's get this dive.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to a mermaid. I can't find one.
So one of the things also I thought of over the time of this game, we're playing this game on. So this game is limited by the capabilities of the weakest platforms it runs on. So when they had originally made this game, that's why they discontinued it on the old Xboxes and the old PlayStations. But it's still being limited by when it was originally made. Huh?
I think it's still available on the Xbox One. You're talking about Sea of Thieves, right? Talking about...
Yeah. I thought they discontinued it, no?
No, that's been one of my biggest complaints. I think they need to discontinue it because that's what's holding the game back.
Okay.
Because every update has to be able to work on the Xbox One, which holds everything back for everyone else.
Yeah, okay, okay. I thought they discontinued it finally. I don't know, but anyway.
I wish.
So to my point, it's still you're limited by the weakest console or weakest platform you're on.
All right, you can vote on this.
So, with that being said, at a certain point, and also like the engine that it's built on too, it could still be the same engine, but they still make improvements on said engines over the years. Like this game was this game's been out. This game was produced over a decade ago initially, so we're working on 10-year-old technology basically. And for them to ever, they have proven to us they cannot fix their hit registration. It's gotten better in my opinion than what it was with the server hit authoritative or whatever when we could switch that on and off.
Yeah.
Because I don't get hit breakdown on mine as bad. It still happens sometimes, but not near as bad.
Yeah.
But they've proven they can't fix that. So I feel like at a certain point, you got to make Sea of Thieves 2 if you want your game to continue at a certain point. And that's whenever you come up with the new fresh ideas of like the new map, the new brand new stuff that we can't run on this stuff. I'm sure they have ideas, but they know it'll crash their server because their servers are struggling. Like think about how many times you get around players or you go around a big event and the server's just lagging. Like their servers are struggling. So all that stuff isn't just like, oh, we're going to do an update. Like at some point you have to come out with Sea of Thieves 2 if you want this game to continue into the future. You have to. You have no option.
I don't know if necessarily it has to be Sea of Thieves 2, but it basically has to essentially be kind of like a new sequel, like a new reset. I think you could potentially have it so that everyone that owns the game currently still keeps it ownership, but they update the entire engine. They maybe get rid of some stuff that no one's using anymore. Like I think the Skull Sign song could either go away completely or maybe be a limited time event that they bring back every so often, or like the original merchant voyage with like the snakes and chickens and stuff. No one likes doing those. Get rid of them, and you'd free
That's
up
my
so
point
much
right
space.
there. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me pause you for a minute. That's my point. then they have to change all their accommodations. If they just make a Sea of Thieves 2, they can change all that and not worry about it. But my point to kind of...
They don't have to get rid of... Or, I mean, they could just do the same thing they did with Arena, where they just lock the accommodations. If you... I mean, you've had 8 years to do it.
Yeah, then people are going to be salty, dude. Like, I cannot stand when they punish their OG players, or when... If I start a game and there's like, oh, by the way, there's some old content that you'll never be able to unlock these accommodations for.
But they've already
cool,
done
I don't want to play your game then. I don't want to play your game then. I don't... Okay, and again, to my point, if you make a Sea of Thieves 2, then you don't have anything locked anymore.
I think I'll jump over here to this.
But anyway, what I was going to say is... You can keep your pirate. You can keep your like. So whenever you do, like, say if they come out with a Sea of Thieves 2,
yeah,
it can transfer your player. It can still be the same game. It can just be Sea of Thieves 2, and they could come out with a brand new Sea of Thieves. Like, I keep all my cosmetics for my ships, etc.
Yeah,
I keep like all my.
That's a necessary must
transfer.
If they ever did make a second game, they have to maintain your cosmetics.
I mean, they don't have to. I mean, I hear you. People say that all the time.
I probably would not play.
I hear you. I hear you. That's you. That's a solo mindset. Look at how many games do that. Call of Duty does it. Every game that has a trilogy or whatever does they do it, and people still like Assassin's Creed. You don't carry anything over. You start from scratch every time. So
yeah,
like,
but that's a very different type of game.
Across any game, dude. Across every types of games, when they come out with a second version, like all the shooters, like Destiny. Whenever Destiny 2 came out, everybody had to start fresh and clean. And I've been playing Destiny for 5+ years, and I lost my entire past 5 years. But we were ready for something fresh and new. So whenever I do something fresh and new, like people accept it. Like, okay, it's time to move on to the next one. You can still go play the old one. The old one's not dead. And
well, I think with live service games, the problem is they probably would shut off the servers for the first game. That's probably what would happen if they came out with Sea of Thieves 2.
Not right away, they wouldn't.
It depends.
But I don't know. You're losing money if you shut your server off, dude. Because you got to factor in the marketing. Like, we have to get all the people transferred over. We have to get everybody to buy this game. We have to do this. We have to do that. And like, people, like, it's not just gonna be an instant thing.
Maybe. I mean, you could say the same thing with other games that have done this, like Overwatch 2, Counter-Strike. Those games, when they came out with their second one, they just got rid of the first one immediately, just to try to get everyone over and force them to switch.
Those games. The games I played, they haven't got rid of them immediately. But regardless, back to my original
from a solo
point.
mindset there.
No, I've played multiple games. But anyway, regardless, I hear what you're saying. But I think to answer the question, what can they do that's new and fresh? They should have started producing Sea of Thieves like a couple years ago.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not even sure if a Sea of Thieves 2 would fix the problems, to be honest.
So what's your fix? Continue the same stuff and expect something different? Like, if you continue what we're doing, the server's going to lag even harder every time you put even more content on it. So, well, like, what is the fix? You can't keep stuffing more stuff in the same map.
Server problems. Servers would most likely be the same type of servers.
But they could get new servers, is what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, they could. But they could get new servers now. I mean, but I mean, I've already kind of talked about what I think would be the solution. It's just more of a reset rather than a full-on sequel.
I think we're splitting hairs there. Sequel, reset. I mean, if you're going to change the whole map up, you might as well make a new game.
Oh, see, I don't. That's where one of the things I could disagree with. I don't think they should change up the map. I think they can update. I don't necessarily need new and fresh, to be honest. In terms of
the whole player base as a whole wants new and fresh, though. They're tired of doing the same stuff on the same islands, and because there's only so much you can do on the same islands. Because like it used to be. So this one of the things that has captivated the Sea of Thieves audience is that they love the fact that, oh, I'm going to this island. I don't know where I'm going, but here I have this map. Let me go figure out where I'm going here. That's why, like, Tall Tales or I don't really care for Tall Tales, my personal opinion, but from people that I've talked to that like Tall Tales, which I haven't talked to that many people, they like Tall Tales because it's something brand new, completely in a different world. Like when they went and did Monkey Island, they'd never been there before, and it was like a new island. So if they say if they release some brand new content tomorrow that I've never done, but it's on these same islands, it wouldn't feel brand new to me. Like I know my way around this island already. I know exactly where that's at. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I get what you're saying. It's just that's not what I would want. So, but I get that that's what you would want.
Yeah.
For me, I like having the history of the world, and I'd rather see it upgraded. Like, think about Golden Sands Outpost. We could have stuff where islands get upgraded over time, but that doesn't mean they have to they don't have to stay the exact same as they are now, but they also don't have to be a full map rechange. Because then you also get in a problem like what happened with Fortnite, for example. You know, everyone loves that old Chapter 1 map, but then everyone was towards the end of that chapter like, oh, we need a new map, we need a new map. Well, then they started coming out with a new map. Then people kept getting on the board of the map so quickly that now they have to get a new map every single year. And it just becomes like, when does it end, essentially? So, like, if you did get a new map for Sea of Thieves, okay, are they going to have to keep getting a new map every, how often are they going to have to keep getting a new map? Because people are just going to get more and more bored because their attention span's getting lower and lower.
Alright. So I hear you. I hear you listen to all the cons of Sea of Thieves 2. What are some pros you think of having Sea of Thieves 2 would be?
That are different than, like, the reset that I was talking about?
Well, every time I've thrown out Sea of Thieves 2, you come back with a con. What are some pros that you think would be making a new game?
I would like to see it upgraded to Unreal Engine 5, for sure. They're on Unreal Engine 4 currently. So if they could upgrade to the latest engine, I think that would help a lot. Get rid of Xbox One support. Get old gen support. Ideally, maybe bring it out with the next gen consoles, because that, if they were to even get started now, that would probably be around the time when they would release it. So then make it so that it's I maybe ideally make it so that it doesn't even support this current gen. I want a truly next gen Sea of Thieves if we're going to get a sequel.
Yeah, but also I get what you're saying, but you have to be careful not to make your customer base so small that your game can't be successful. Because these next consoles are probably going to cost close to $1,000.
Yeah, but you know one thing that I've been hearing from everyone, and including myself, with the latest generation of consoles, is that no one really cares about this latest gen. It doesn't even feel like a generation like they had in the past, because most of the games that they're getting run on all the old consoles. So you gotta push it forward eventually. You can't just keep holding back. Are we gonna get to the next gen and it's like, oh, we gotta still support the PS4? Xbox
I understand
One
the pros and cons of it supporting. You also have to worry about where is the biggest player base at. That's all I'm saying.
I get it. I'm just saying, in terms of
so you gotta. But anyway, continue. Was there any more pros that you could think of?
I also would just really like to see them strip back stuff that no one plays in the game. And they have all the data. They can see, oh, these things are popular in the game, these things aren't popular in the game, in terms of, how much time people are playing them. Get rid of the stuff that people aren't playing. Focus on or revamp the things that are working in the game, and go forward with that.
Yeah, so that's my point, though. Is that's why I'm pro Sea of Thieves 2, is because if they came out with a new game, they wouldn't have to strip anything back. They could take all that data, and as they're making their new map and their new worlds, they could just not use any space for the stuff that failed. And they could use that space for either new stuff or stuff they know is successful. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they could just get rid of it. They got rid of Arena. They don't have any problem getting rid of stuff. That's kind of.
That was a whole nother game mode, though. That's a whole nother game mode.
I mean, I guess I don't really see much of a difference. Let me read some of the chat here, though, what they've been saying. Hear me out. What if, with a new game, have the original map, but add ways to go to new maps, such areas that are different servers, and you can travel between them with a loading cutscreen? The hardest part with that is, you have to make sure that you keep enough players inside, of the server or that map, or else it's just going to be empty, kind of like what we've been dealing with Sea of Thieves for a while now. And that's what one of the hard parts about expanding the map in general for any, whether it's a new game or this current map. You could maybe make it work by having it go through the Sea of the Damned, like the portals and stuff, or like the diving, maybe could make it work. But I don't know. I think it would just be hard balance. I don't have much faith in them.
I think you would have a
to do
player
it.
base. I think we have to accept the fact that I think with something like that, you would have a player base problem, and you would have that would decrease the player versus player interactions even more than we already got going on. And like, again, everybody their best times on this game, their worst times and their best times are interacting with other players.
Yeah.
Everybody hates when they lose their stuff and get sunk, but the best times, like when you're sitting around telling Sea of Thieves stories, you're not sitting around, oh, this one time I was fighting a skeleton. No, you're talking about, oh, this one time this brigantine came upon us, or we snuck up on this brigantine, or like whatever. So I think with that, I think you have a player base problem. It's not like this game has Fortnite's player base where you got millions and millions of people playing. So I think you have to accept the reality of like the player base of this game.
Yeah. No,
On the side
for sure. I think the core of this game really is like the PvP side. That's where really all the memories, but that's what makes this game special, the player interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I have said, like, I guess as a point for like the PvE players that always get mad when I talk about PvP stuff, is that I think good PvP comes out of having good PvE. Because if you have good PvE content that people are doing, well, then you have treasure in the game. You have people that are going to do those stuff. Then you have reasons to go steal. Right now, there's not really things that people are enjoying to go do, so there's nothing really to go out and steal. That's why when stuff like the limited time events for like Mall Sands Fortress or like the Reaper Mega Stashes that happened a few months ago, that's why those are big fun times, because there's the PvE people that are trying to go do those things that they enjoy, and then the PvP people are like the threat on the seas.
Well, something I'm very, very in favor of is, I think they did stuff to like make things easier in this game. Because people would complain about how hard it was to do.
Yeah.
It used to be something. So back when Fort of the Damned originally came out, do y'all remember when Fort of the Damned came out? And you would start with one color of skellies, and then it would work its way to waves of 2 different colors, and then waves of 3 different colors. There were people that could not sit up there and solo that fort. They would get killed. And depending on your skill level at the game, is like you might not be able to fight off 2 colored waves, and then there was even more people that couldn't fight off the 3 colored waves. Well, when people was like, oh, hey, by the way, you could go drop Will off at the Fort of the Damned, and he could solo that whole thing, and he could kill all 3 waves of skellies with all the 3 different colors without dying. That's something to be proud of. Like, it made you feel good. Now, like, Fort of the Damned is like, whoop-de-doo, you can solo that thing, whoop-de-doo, they're all the same color. There's nothing that hard about it. And, like, where's the content that's difficult to do that you can feel proud that you can do that other less skilled players can't do? Like, what happened to that? Where's it at? There isn't anything like that anymore.
Well, that's actually one of the things I brought up, like when I was like talking about what I want to see for like this Devil's Roar update that they were doing for Season 18. I talked about how like the Devil's Roar, when it was originally added, was meant to be like the more difficult zone of the game. And sadly with Season 18, they made the Devil's Roar easier in some ways. But like, I wanted for a Devil's Roar update, if they were going to go and do it, to have, like, the most difficult stuff in the game, basically. And have it be, like, for the people that have been playing the game for a long time, that are kind of experts. And it'd be, like, that thing that you can graduate to. If you just start playing, you might hate it and be like, oh, well, Devil's Roar is too hard. Well, you play in the main part of the game, you get better, and then you'll eventually be ready for it.
Yeah.
That's what I think they should have done with the Devil's Roar. I think the Devil's Roar deserved a lot better than we got for Season 18. You got one?
Get a little bit closer to that island so I can shoot to it better.
Yeah.
But
cannon.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I just think it's which cannon did you say?
Left cannon.
Left.
It's right here. I'm just gonna keep going past.
I'll see one so far. Yeah, I got one right here.
Alright, coming back. What were you about to say though? For that?
I don't remember. Well, they have to decide. They can't just keep flip-flopping on what they're going to do and keep coming out with half-ass content. And, because their game's going to die, and then they're not even... So, I feel like they need to say, well, we're going to see a Thieves 2, or they need to release some really good content. Because their game's slowly dying, and soon enough, even a new game is not... People aren't going to be excited about.
Yeah.
Like, people will move on to another game.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems I think Sea of Thieves has had with their content updates over the last few years is just a lot of reskin stuff. That's why that was one of my biggest problems with the Hunter's Call update last year, was that instead of like working on a new type of sea monster in the game, they decided to just reskin the ancient megalodon or the megalodons and add a couple of new features to them, which is not like new to me. It feels the exact same as doing the regular megalodons. Someone said once Ahoy comes out, have y'all heard of it? Oh, the bricks. I just my chest and return back in. Yeah, gotcha. I haven't heard of Ahoy, that game. There's been a good amount of pirate games that have been coming out, I think, trying to take the spotlight from the Sea of Thieves, but none of them I've seen have like felt.
Well, I think the success of Thieves has shown how difficult it actually is to come out with a successful pirate game.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I feel like with the pirate games, some developers try to go a bit too broad because they're trying to mimic Sea of Thieves, and almost they do better if they just like kind of niche down to focus. Like, are they going to be a PvP type game? Are they going to be like a PvE type game? I've seen some of their like crafting survival type pirate game. Like, I don't know. Some of them try to do too much. Like Skull and Bones, that was in development hell forever, and then
Yeah.
they really couldn't figure out what they wanted that game to be. I think that's been the problem with some of them.
Yeah. Well, like Crosswind. Is it called Crosswinds? I think that's what it's called.
That's the big one that I've heard a lot of the people have talked about.
Like I watched it, dude. It looks pretty good because they didn't try to be Sea of Thieves. They did their own thing. And like, if you like survival games and you want a pirate game, that you will like that game.
And see, sadly, the thing that's going on with Sea of Thieves now, I feel like a lot of the creators are going to have to leave. It's just no one's wanting to play Sea of Thieves much anymore. So like, if no one's playing Sea of Thieves, no one's watching the content.
And also like, you have to you have to move your people around to new games that are making money. That may have been why they don't have as much people working on it anymore. They may have been losing money and had to cut their staff.
Yeah, well, they had the layoff at Rare last year, but that was only for the Overlord team, and that got confirmed that no one from the Sea of Thieves team was
Do we know where an ammo box is?
over here where I'm at. I'm trying to drag him over this way so that we can be near the ammo. Watch out. That helped.
I love it, man. Actually,
Actually got you away from that.
I love it again.
Pipe explosion. I hate the earthquakes though. I think, like, you know how we were talking about earlier, like, you know, they took away some things that were difficult in the game but actually made the game better. I think there's like a difference between like that kind of thing or versus like what they did in Devil's War, like, where they have these earthquakes and stuff. This just makes it the game not fun, having like these earthquakes that you can't like stand still or whatever. And,
yeah, these earthquakes
like,
are not fun at all, dude.
I'm a little bit okay with the volcano, but sometimes they just happen way too often. It's like right when we get to an island or something. It freaking happens. Oh, I can come get you. I'm coming. Oh wait, that's not you. That's the skeleton. Let me see what someone else says. My only issue I've seen is it's less about fantasy and more historical. That's the thing. I don't really like the historical stuff. I look more with the fantasy when it comes to the pirate stuff.
You want to go get the ship?
Yeah, I can go. I can go get the ship. I'll move it back. Someone else said one thing that they can do to save the game is to reintroduce Arena as a player-activated world event. Like scroll certain sign. I'm not exactly sure how it would work as a player-activated world event. I don't know how that will, like, logistically work, but
I mean, that's pretty much what they did with the Hourglass. It's player-activated.
Yeah. And
So, I mean, Hourglass took the place of...
The slash ship standing thing is basically going to be Arena, but an Hourglass form that you activate yourself, so you're kind of getting what you're wanting next month, or 2 months from now. I'm hoping that last ship standing thing is good. I partially think, like, there's a reason that Arena failed. Even though I liked Arena, only 2% of the player base was actually playing it. Same thing with Hourglass. I feel like there's a lot of, like, there's a loud minority of Hourglass players, I feel like. Hourglass would be better with some changes that I've talked about before, and you and me have talked about before. But in general, I feel like both of those were, like, It's not what Sea of Thieves really is, like, in terms of, like, what we like about it. Sea of Thieves is like that open world. You have, like, treasure to go steal. You can go attack it many different ways. You can't do that with Hourglass. Hourglass is basically just 1v1 ship fight. And that's kind of it.
Well, I mean, also, the average experience for Hourglass is somebody gets on there to try to get some commendation or achievements done, and they just get their face ripped off by some sweat lord. And that's not fun for anybody.
Yeah.
And there's the old adage, get good. Like, I got you 100%. Not all content's for everybody, but that's the reason that those game modes have been failing. Like, and that's the reason I think this what's this event with the 6 ships coming? What's it called?
Last Ship Standing. It's basically like a battle
Last Ship
royale with the
Standing.
ships.
All that's going to end up being, at first, the first few weeks will probably be all right, but after the initial like little, oh, this is new, let's try it, wears off. All you're going to do is you're going to have somebody go in there, and there's going to be half the ships in there are going to be sweat lords, and they're just going to smoke you so fast. It's like, well, this isn't fun. I'm going back to doing whatever I was doing because I'm not going to have a chance.
I actually think it's pretty smart how they're
experience.
implementing it. They're basically going to have it, so I think it's going to come back, like, it's going to be here for a whole month when it first gets introduced, and then I think it's coming back for like a week every month. So that's like, it's like kind of like semi-permanent content in the sense that like it's only available for a little bit of the time, but
so that's what I'm saying.
When it comes
those
back.
weeks it comes back is going to be nothing but sweats in there.
Yeah.
And like, it's not going to be a fun experience for people. So it's like, that's why those game modes aren't successful.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, that's why when we were talking about that aggression system, I think he hit me with his his like throwing spear from inside the ship.
Are you dead?
No, I'm good. I was repairing a hole down here, and then I got hit by that. It's crazy.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so like when we were talking about that aggression system earlier, I was thinking about it. I think these Hourglass updates that they're doing for Season 19, which were not supposed to be the season's content, but they are now trying to claim it is. I don't think it's going to be successful because I don't think enough players are going to even play it. So then it's just going to be the same thing as it's been before, where only the people that like grind out the game are going to be playing it. So like, someone was asking me if it's going to be like less sweaty and stuff, and I'm like, well, if it's very popular, the skill-based matchmaking that already exists for it should kick in. But the problem is, even with skill-based matchmaking, there's just not enough people playing it.
So what are the changes they're making? What are the changes?
So there's going to be a shrinking circle.
Yeah, I know about that.
Boundary. There's going to make it so that you get like a certain amount of supplies at the beginning of it. So like guaranteed supplies, so you don't have to go and spend too much time restocking. There's also going to be an automatically raised emissary flag, and you're going to be able to dive like directly to another fight. You're not going to have to go and like stop fighting, whatever, and like start again. Like, it's very basic changes. I wouldn't say it's like anything too major. The shrinking circle is really the biggest thing. And they're adding some new rewards for the different levels between like 1 and 100, which...
The only thing I think that's going to change is I think you'll see solo fights happening faster. Because, like, that's literally some of the guys' playstyle is they'll just circle around until people get tired of chasing them, and they'll just, like, whatever, I don't have time for this, I'll just go to the next one. And then they'll just sink their own ship and move on.
I would play it more if there was a time limit to it. Like, if we're like still like going around and like basically we're both doing equal damage for like the entire time for like 15-20 minutes, just call it a draw. Like, make it a tie and get so it's like half credit or whatever.
Well, I think you're getting that with the shrinking circle.
It depends on how much it shrinks. Because like if it's still pretty big, people are just gonna still run around.
Yeah, we want so much to shrink.
Yeah, that's why I almost would rather them just shrink it, like just make it smaller in general, and then just make it so that you have a time limit. Because I think they could do it to where it's like whoever did most damage during like that time limit, if no one sinks, then it's whoever did the most damage would win, or something like that.
I think it should just be a draw if nobody sinks.
I'm fine with that too. So the thing to me is like the main reason I would play Hourglass is if, say, I have like half an hour before I had to go somewhere, and I just wanted to have some kind of quick PvP fight, and I knew that it would take like 15-20 minutes to go through that, then I would do it. But right now with Hourglass, you can have like a fight that lasts like 5 minutes, and you can have another fight that lasts 3 hours, and it's just...
Well, also, it promotes engagement. I mean, I would be down for a time limit. But because it promotes engagement, it's not like if I keep running, I don't get any.
Yeah, and I'd be perfectly fine with a tie. I was just saying that I think some people might not
Yeah.
like that, so I was kind of trying to give other ideas for how
I
they could
think
do it. Dude, can like they make it so that we don't get these freaking phantoms when we're already fighting a bunch of other stuff? Kind of, they just keep popping up.
Taste the wrath of the widow.
Okay. Let me read some comments. One thing that they could do to save the game is to reintroduce arena. Oh, I think I already read that. Yeah. The thing that
Yeah, you
would
already
be
did.
different from this arena world event is that you would have to talk to Leslie and have to pay 100k gold fee to activate. That's crazy. No one's gonna do that. And there would be a new Sea Dog related treasure besides the Sea Dog chest from the arena. I don't know. I feel like as much as I would love Arena to come back, you know, I am on that team of wanting Arena back. I know it wouldn't be successful if it came back again.
Yeah, and again, they have to make money, so it's not worth having a team dedicated to something that less than 5% of the player base is playing.
Yeah, exactly. Is that thing shooting at us now?
I don't know. I just died.
Yeah,
I'll
but it's
check
on
the
the other
ship
side of the
out
island,
right
so we have a moment. Another clippy. This is what that was about. I'm running on island and try to grab some food real quick. Oh, and yeah, we could sell the smugglers since we're right here, too. I have to sell them 4 times. How many... I don't know if you ever checked. How many do you have left for,
I've got to do
outposts?
all of them except for that one we just sold. I'll check in a second.
There's no food there. I'm trying to... Maybe up the top.
What? That's under the commendations.
Yeah, it's like on the last page, at least for the Sanctuary one.
Yep.
I
I
think
gotta
I'm at,
sell.
like 1 out of 5 or whatever for me.
Yeah, sell Sanctuary the Banished Keys. I need 2 more of those, and then I don't have any to the smuggler yet. So
Okay. Alright,
what? How long are you planning on playing this game tonight?
I don't know, I'm up to kind of just hang out and chat. We can, if you want, we could hop on something else. We could like a Fortnite or something if you want to try that out. Or if you want to...
I got people wanting me to get on Arc Raiders, is what I was asking.
I might stay on for as long as people want to keep chatting for, but you can get off whenever. You don't need to stay on for me.
I was thinking about after we sell this one, hopping over on Arc.
Yeah, that's fine. Hopefully this is almost done.
I know, I feel like we've been fighting this guy for a while, dude.
I think so too. Are you, I'm gonna get on the ship. I think we're gonna take out the skeleton ship. That's something they need to fix too. The skeleton ships have been like aggroing like crazy recently. Since season 18 started. I'm just gonna go take this out. Just gonna go for a bit.
Okay. Alright, I'll probably die here in a minute.
Alright, well it should be pretty close, so you can just shoot back over. Or you can just help me take out this guy and then we can go back together. I'm just hoping that that guy doesn't despawn if we're gone. That's the only thing. I've had that happen before and it's so aggravating. Great. Alright, so let's say they do like one like major update for the year. So they stop like updating it for the rest of the year. They start working on like one big update. What would you want them to do? Outside of just like making a new game or something.
I haven't put that much thought in it, I have to think about it.
Yeah.
Something that's completely actually brand new, but like, probably like what I was saying about like a raid that takes like a bunch of pirates to do, to where like you have to do something to activate it, and then like you just kind of go into a different world. or whatever to do it, and then I don't know. Yeah.
I'm hoping this Grand Maritime Union update that's supposed to be coming is good. I had like a video that was like kind of like in my dream season would be for that. I don't think a lot of that stuff's gonna happen. I only hope. This skeleton ship's like wiggling itself. It's kind of funny. There's a keg up top there. Oh, it's sunk, I think. So on the other hand, Ashen Garrisons are pretty cool though. They should have done it when they added C-Forts back in the season 6. So I'm pretty excited about these Ashen Garrisons, honestly. I
think it's just going to be recycled content. That's all it is to me.
I think it will be, but at least it's the content that I enjoy a lot, which is the C-Forts. I like the C-Forts a lot. There's something like I do like when I'm by myself. Yeah.
It's still content.
I agree. But it's kind of like when those people that are like, or like, who love fighting Megalodons, when they got the ancient Megalodons, and I love that. And I thought it was like just boring recycled content. It's kind of like this is like my version of that. So I'm like, I'm looking forward to it, but I know it's not what the game really needs. Even though when they were talking about the concept, it sounded a lot cooler than just like another Sea Fort, but in the Devil's Roar and bigger. But I think the Insider program honestly does more damage to the game than it helps. Like ideally it's supposed to help make the game higher quality and stuff, but I feel like it's just announcing stuff and then people like hear about like how cool it's supposed to be, and then it gets like worse and worse as it develops, and then people are like, wait, why didn't we get that original thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Am I going crazy, or is there... Oh, you know what probably is? We have the, that Smuggler's Voyage on, and that's why the Phantoms keep spawning. Probably need to get rid of that if we want to get them stuff. But it doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
Here's something that Rare fumbled, which is always moving the Chest of Fortune around. It's really annoying to find these chests except for the box member secrets. I feel like, I talked about it before, I feel like they should retire the, I'm gonna go ahead and sell this to the smuggler guy here. Totally.
Okay.
I think they should have just, like, retired the Chest of Fortune, like, stop it at grade 10, I think that's what it's at now. Create a new chest that does, like, kind of the same thing, and then have the Chest of Fortune stay at the Fort of Fortune, so people like me who haven't finished those accommodations can still keep getting it, but people who have been keeping up, or just want to start a new one, can start with a new chest that goes between different world events or wherever they want to put it. Like, I mean, what is it at? Like, you probably can see it, right? Because you're up at that level. It's like 320 something, or like 400 you have to get?
I think it's at 300. It's 30 per season, so.
Ugh, gosh.
Let me
like,
check.
I think I'm only at like
grade
60 or
10
something.
is... I'm at 276 of 300.
I'm at a measly 74.
Yeah,
I'm really only trying to get to grade 3 completed, because that's when you get the disguise for it. That's all I really care about, to be honest.
Sure.
But maybe they'll do another Mega Stash event with Chest of Fortunes or something. And that's probably what
Maybe they'll come out with a grade 11 and we can do it some more and the people will love it.
Yeah, let's go to grade 20 when you have to get 1,000 Chest of Fortunes or something. Oh my gosh. So for those that are listening on the chat that don't know, Will is definitely much more like the grinder in the game. I am very much the not a grinder for accommodations and stuff.
He's just a complainer about having to grind.
Yeah. If it's too much of a grind, I don't do it.
But then if it's too easy, he wants to complain about it too.
Not really. It's easy, I'm fine with it.
So my philosophy is actually, let me just say my philosophy. I feel like there should be some stuff that is grindy in the game, and like, I'm completely fine with them having something like that's Chest of Fortune in there, like. But like, I'm kind of over it at this point. Like, dude, you keep raising it up. How many times do I have to get this same chest? So
That's kind of
like,
why I
I'm
want them to just
completely
make a
fine
new
with having.
chest. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let me grind something new. Like, I'm okay with having to grind to get stuff. But the problem
You know
with
what?
that is you
Yeah.
grind for it, people complain about it, and then they lower it down to like half, and it's like, oh, so you just trashed all your OG players that actually grinded that out and just give it away for free. That's cool.
Yeah.
Not really, it's not cool at all. But like, there's some stuff that like you didn't put the time in, you don't deserve it.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Like to keep your player base up, you need grindy stuff in your game, especially something like this. You got to keep them playing for something, but it also has to be able to keep them engaged to do it. And that's why, like, the Fort of Fortune was really good when it came out. And that's like why when you see them do the Chest of Fortunes event where there's 15 in what's that event called?
The Mega Sashes.
Yeah, the Mega Stashes. If you ever go around a fort, like, it is popping around them forts around that time because everybody wants to do them. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just real grindy. Like,
I think one thing that could be interesting if they were to do like a new type of chest that's like a really high value chest. I'd be interested in them having like basically a chest that you don't get gold when you sell it. You get like an exclusive cosmetic that like there's like basically a suite of cosmetics that are available for it, and you can only get it by selling that chest, and you get like a random one each time you sell it, and then they just keep adding to that like stockpile, which I think would be like somewhat more interesting. So I don't really care about gold anymore. So it's either you're going for the combination, or you're just going. I think that chip instantly sunk when I raised. Did you see that?
it did. It did.
That's funny.
That's what I was looking at.
So I think that could be cool. Like basically have similar to the Chest of Fortune, where it's like really high value chests that people fight over. But you not only is it for accommodation, but you can get like these exclusive cosmetics that like are kind of random. I don't know what you think about that. I know you're not that big of a cosmetic person, but I feel like
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
just
care
getting
about
tired of
cosmetics.
getting gold.
I'm
Gold-
not a
gold
fan
means
of
nothing to
random
me.
cosmetics though, because like I want to know I'm going to be able to get this stuff, and I want a path to get it.
Well,
I'll tell you what
I
they need
What I
to
mean
do.
by that is like you basically it would be like a random like you have like say like 10 cosmetics that are available, and you wouldn't know which one you're getting, but you'd always get a new one each time. So like if you were to get like all of them basically, or if you kept just getting all the chest of, or whatever the special chest is, you'd get all the cosmetics. You wouldn't have to like. It's not like random in that sense, if that makes sense.
Where I'm not going to keep getting the same one 5 times.
Yeah, you're not gonna keep getting the same ones. Like you'd get like whatever the next one available is. But the reason why I say it's like random, it would be nice to have it random like that. Is that way like, if I sell 5 of the special chests and someone else sells 5 of them, we both might have different cosmetics, and that would be kind of cool. To like say like, oh, you got this one. Oh, I'm trying to find that one or whatever. It would basically make it a little bit more exciting when selling one. Almost like kind of like a lottery system in a sense. Like you don't know what you're gonna get, which would be kind of cool, I think. I just want something that kind of changes the monotony, because I'm just tired of like, oh, there's some more gold out of my account. I don't even know how much that sold for, because I don't really care too much.
So one thing is that as much time as I've had in this game, I should have had a Shrouded Ghost. Like I don't care what nobody will convince me. People say like, oh, that's the beauty of it. It's not beautiful at all. It's stupid that I have 200 days in this game and haven't killed much less seen one. So
No,
I think that
feel
should be something that is really good. Like I would be okay with that being like the grind of the grind. Like, and this is probably something you'll disagree with me on, and that's fine with me. But like, so for example, you have to kill 50 of all the other kind of Megs.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish there was like a thing where everybody on your crew had to have it, and then once you started that quest, nobody else could join your crew. But if you've killed 50 of all your other Megs, you get 1 guaranteed Shrouded Ghost spawn. 1. And anybody on your ship, it burns their 1 chance. It's not like 4 of you can get up on there and all burn yours. No, it burns everybody's all at once. And then to get your 5, you have to kill 200 of each Meg, or 250 of each Meg. But at least there's a guaranteed way to it. And by this point, I would have a few Shrouded Ghosts killed. There's just, and that's a grind of a grind like that to me. I know you hate a grind, but that keeps it really rare still to where you can be proud of it. But at least there's a path to it.
I'm not gonna.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what I would rather them do, like, I get, like, you want, like, basically a guaranteed way for it.
Are you trying to roll the cell up, or what are we doing?
I was gonna get this, but I'm not gonna deal with the volcano right now. I just
Well,
thought
I
it
just
was-
rolled the cell up.
It's fine. Yeah, we can just get on. So like the thing that I would probably do different for this is I would probably want to do something like the more that you increase your reputation or your level within the Hunter's Call, you have like a better percentage chance of being able to get the Shrouded Ghost. I kind of like that it's like you don't know when you're gonna get it, because I feel like if it was a guaranteed thing, then it just becomes, I don't know. It's not. It loses its mystique. Like I feel like it's one of those things like no one would really care about if there was a guaranteed way to get it. That's kind of my thought.
The people that had it would be proud of it though, because not everybody's going around to kill 50 megs of each gun.
Sure, but I feel like it makes sense to have it like connected to Hunter's Call in the sense like you build up your reputation, your level, and then that gives you a greater chance to find it. Maybe. That I don't know. That's just my thought.
Then
with
that's
that, but
still
I don't
RNG,
really
dude. I hate RNG. That's still RNG. I have a greater chance, so it goes from 0.001% to 0.1%. Congratulations, I still can't find it.
I'd say I have more than that kind of chance, but yeah, I mean I get you.
And then I think that would make it even less rare. Like, I think you just have to work to get it. I don't, like, so for example, over the course of time, it would become less and less rare because the more people that max out their Hunter Call, the more people are getting higher spawn rates. So eventually, like now, over half the player, well, I say over, there's probably a quarter of the player base. And when I say the player base, people that play this game regularly, not the entire player base that's ever played. There's probably close to a quarter of the player base that plays this regularly that probably has their Hunter Call maxed out at this point. Or maybe 10%, I don't know, whatever the percentage is. But those people would have a massive spawn rate, and then you'd have people running around all over the place that had all their megs killed, instead of having to grind for it. I think you should have to grind
I think you'd
for
be
it.
surprised at probably what the average level is for people for Hunter's Call.
Yeah, that's
and other
because the
stuff.
people that's played this game for 3 days and uninstalled it, it brings that average down. So again,
Even if you
the
take
people
out that,
people that play this game on a regular basis.
yeah, I know. Even if you were looking at it, I think it'd be less than you think. But I mean, even I've been
That's fine.
guilty of this. Like I've like overestimated
My
stuff.
premise
like, in
still
those
stands.
rooms.
I don't want it to be RNG, and I think you should have to grind for it. I don't think that like just because I'm level 500, I should have a 25% chance of it spawning versus a 2% chance if I'm level 0 or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
Because
I
then
mean,
you would get them
just,
all the time.
just different perspectives. I'm fine with some like RNG stuff just because I think it kind of makes things exciting when that does happen. But I know you don't like that. So.
Yeah, I don't like RNG because like look, I will never kill that Shrouded Ghost in this game ever. I'll never even see one, dude.
Yeah. But honestly, for me, it's like, you know, if I see a Shrouded Ghost, that would be really cool, but I'm also not caring that much if it doesn't happen. Like, it's not gonna ruin my day or bother me that much, to be honest.
What's not going to ruin your day or bother you?
If I never get a Shrouded Ghost, like, I mean, I've been playing this game since
Yeah, but there's
launch
tons of
day,
people
like,
in this game, me included. Like, you have something in your game that's completely unattainable. It can't be done. Cannot be done.
Yeah, I mean,
So, like, you consider yourself probably basically a subject matter expert on this game, right?
yeah,
Would you?
I mean, for-
Yeah. So let me ask you this: I'm a brand new player. Hey, dude, how do I work to get a Shrouded Ghost? What would be the fastest way to find a Shrouded Ghost? How can I guarantee? How can I get one?
sail around a lot.
That's not no, but that's like you going to your boss at work and saying, "Hey, boss, what's the best way for me to get a raise?" And his answer's probably gonna be like, "Work hard, become valuable, and increase like what you do for the company. Basically, work hard." But there's nothing you can do. Like it's the same thing. Like I feel like I see a thief trashing on us the same way your boss trashes on you, not giving you a raise. Like when you work hard, like it's kind of that type of thing. But anyway, I am about to go get on Arc Raiders. It's a pretty good conversation.
Sure. Yeah, well, thanks for hopping
So-
on. I think that was
Yep.
a good chat with everyone. Maybe
Yeah, we can have another
sometime.
one sometime. Yep, for sure. But anyway, all right, let me hop up out of here. All right, yep, y'all have a
Good
good
night.
one. Yep. Good night.
Let me end the Discord call real quick. Alright, well, that was Will. Hope y'all enjoyed it, that bit of commentary. I'm willing to hang out for a bit longer. I'll be able to read chat a little bit easier now. I don't even know if I want to take this, to be honest. I might just go and dive and do some kind of activity real quick. And let's go ahead and lower this emissary flag. I don't need it on. Let me read some of the chat. I encountered the Shrouded Ghost once with a friend. We completed Ashen Lord at Devil's Ridge, and on the way to Ancient Spire Outpost, we encountered it. We screamed in joy like it was Christmas. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thought. Like, I know Will's obviously has a very different perspective on that. Like, he wants it so that everything in the game, basically, you can get guaranteed to do with lots of grinding. I'm personally okay with there's some stuff being random, like random chance. Not necessarily saying everything should be, but some stuff. It's kind of similar to me like saying, like, you go up to a ship, right? There are going to be times where you go up to a ship and it has a couple castaway chests, and it's just like, that's lame. There will be other times you get on there and there's like a chest of legends and like a whole loot pile of stuff on there. You don't know what's going to happen when you go up to any random ship on the season unless you see like what activity they were doing before. But those random encounters where they have the big loot stash make it very exciting. So you kind of need some of the dull moments. You need some of those like boring ships, or in the case of like the Shrouded Ghosts and the Megalodons, you need some of the regular Megalodons to make the one really rare one, or the rare encounter, feel a lot more special, which is what my whole point was. But we just have different perspectives on that, and that's perfectly fine. So, I don't know how y'all feel about that in the chat. I think I'm getting ready to, kind of ready to get out of the Devil's Roar, honestly. That might be one of the problems with the season focus on the Devil's Roar. It's just like, do we really want to spend so much time in the Devil's Roar? Dark Warlock said, yeah, I agree. Risk versus reward needs to be included more into Thieves. For sure. Well, that's what always baffles me when the Safer Seas people always say that they need emissaries in Safer Seas. I'm like, emissaries were literally designed as a risk versus a reward system in the game. It's designed to make you a higher target for like PvP players, but you get rewarded because you get a multiplier for your stuff. So like you gotta choose. But then if you do that in Safer Seas, well, you just take out the risk and have all reward. It doesn't make sense. I'm not a totally against Safer Seas. I think it's good for stuff like Tall Tales and things like that. Some people are completely against it, but some of the people that are like full-on Safer Seas people get really annoying with some of the stuff that they say, and like how they just don't really understand why certain mechanics are in the game and the way they are designed to be. So let's take a look. I kind of wish that they had during the community weekend. I was doing a lot of them. If you did like the buried treasure maps from the quest board that's on the docks of each outpost, you're able to get a chance for a chest of fortune. I got like 5 or 6 of them from that during that weekend. I didn't even get to play a lot, so I kind of wish they had that for like the whole month, because I would be doing that right now. I wish the Smuggler's League was a good addition, but I hate that Smuggler Voyage. It's just very boring. Think about just either doing another like C4 or something, or maybe, you know what, that might be peaceful to do. Let's do a Lost Shipment Voyage. I'll throw down a Merchant Alliance or Emissary on, and we can just kind of sail around. I'll do that, answer or talk to y'all in the chat for a bit, and then maybe we'll call it after that, unless something interesting happens. But let's go raise the Emissary for that real quick. I think last time I did the Lost Shipment Voyage, I got like a grade 5 Emissary just from finishing it, so it's actually a pretty solid voyage if you're trying to do merchants. I might run a poll, because I thought about doing it earlier on the stream, but I didn't stop to do it. I might run a poll like maybe tomorrow or something about whether or not Sea of Thieves should have like a reset, or have like a sequel to the game, like a Sea of Thieves 2, or should just goes to like doing bigger updates and just kind of keep things the way they are. I'd kind of be interested to see how that breakdown looks like for larger player base, because I'm more in like the reset camp. Will's more in like the sequel idea. I'm sure there'll be some people that, you know, think the game is great currently and want to do that. You know what actually I'm going to do first? I kind of want to go onto my own ship, because I don't like the ship. It was his ship, so. Check messages real quick. But again, I guess just thanks for everyone that joined in. We had a pretty good amount of people in here for the discussion tonight. One of the things I think Sea of Thieves does need to work a lot better on is that they add interesting features in the game, like disguises or guilds, and then they never like really fix them until many years later when people don't really care anymore. Hourglass is a great example. It's been what, like 2 years since Hourglass got introduced, and they're finally putting in like very bare minimum type of updates for it. That's one of the biggest problems I think with that in terms of like adding stuff to the game, and then they just kind of abandon it. But Dark Warlock says Safer Seas has its uses, but I agree emissaries should never be enabled on there. But what would be really nice is clothing presets and RPG depth character customization. If you want to elaborate what you mean by RPG depth character customization, are you talking about like being able to change like the noses and like facial features and stuff, like have like a character creator type thing? Because my only thought against that is that they purposely didn't do that with Sea of Thieves when they designed the game. And if you're interested in more of like the history of that, I have that history of Sea of Thieves development video where I talked a little bit about that. Basically, the reason that they went against that is they didn't want anyone to have like a character that looked the same as anyone else. So like I kind of like that there's no one in the game that can look like my character. So no one can go on to like their customization settings and make themselves identical to me. They can put the same clothing on if they have it unlocked. They can maybe get, like a slender pirate that, has like, same kind of face shape and body and stuff, but it's never going to be the exact same. I really like that aspect to Sea of Thieves. It makes my character feel unique to me, and I think that's a really good thing for the game. But I know some people might like a little bit better customization. But in terms of the clothing presets, yeah, that should have been added a long time ago. One of my ideas for clothing presets was maybe make like guild outfits. So like every guild has maybe like 4 or 5 clothing presets that you can set up, and then anyone that plays in your guild can access those clothing presets, which could be really cool because I think a lot of times with guilds you have like one player, if it's just your friend group, you have like one player that plays the game a lot, like someone like me, who like will own the guild, and then you have other players that like play casually that will get on. So then you can have outfits for them that you've kind of custom made. So you could have like a cannoner outfit. You could have like a captain outfit that's at the wheel. You could have someone that's like a chef outfit, even though they have a chef outfit for the guilds already. You could have all that, and I think that would be pretty cool. And be kind of like taking what we have, what we want with the clothing presets, and then merging them with the guilds to like really make something kind of unique with that two concepts. But yeah, if you want to elaborate on that RPG thing, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Let me see. Yeah, I agree. But specifically, like changing the eye color, nose shape, and shape of facial features, stuff like that. See, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I think there could be some of that added. I just think that if you go too far down that rabbit hole, then you start having people that can start making people, like their pirates, look identical to each other. But I think it would be cool if maybe there was like a way that, you could change eye colors. Maybe the Order of Souls could you like do like mystic type thing, and you could like change eye color like by unlocking certain cosmetics for that or accommodations or something, or maybe make it like almost like a ritual that the Order of Souls can do, and then that would make it so that like you can only do it so often. Maybe there's like a time limit, like timer that you can only do it like maybe once a month or once a season, or maybe make it so that like you have to pay like a heavy price to do it each time, kind of like when you like repair your ship. I'd be kind of cool for that stuff. If it could be integrated into the game like lore, that's kind of what I'm looking for with that kind of stuff. Kind of like how they have the pirate appearance potion, which kind of fits in a little bit. I would like something a little bit more in depth than that if they were to do more customization. The only thing that would worry me is I feel like if they did that, they probably would somehow figure out how to monetize it. They make it so like, oh, you can buy premium eye colors from the shop now. And you'd have like maybe like 3 basic colors that you get for free in the game, and then everything else has to be paid for. That's just kind of where I'm seeing the game going. I think that they're going to heavily focus on monetization, which is not necessarily a bad thing. The game needs to make money, but I feel like the best way for them to make money is kind of more the Fortnite approach, where if you make a solid game, you get a good amount of players playing, well then they'll naturally start buying cosmetics and other stuff. But that's what I kind of see for the game. I actually don't know if I want to do that while shipment wage. Kind of wanting to work on this Hunter's Call Emissary, so we can do something for them. Let's see. One thing I have been playing recently, though, is Split Fiction. I started playing with my new girlfriend, and I thought about maybe streaming that. That could be fun. I almost think about doing the boar hunt, but that just gets kind of annoying to do. Let's start off with the skeleton camp raid. Just do one of those real quick. Which I guess I could have just gone straight to that skeleton camp. Let's cancel this one real quick. I might dive to the next one. I'll just get like the regular orb from here, and then could dive to the next one. Which those kinds of customizations would be nice. Which, you know how some pirates have a blind eye. You can make your pirate be blind in one eye with that feature. Yeah, you could do like a lot of cool stuff. I think you could also have like really interesting ones. Like we already have the Order of Souls curse, but you could do kind of stuff like that where it's like the black eye that's like bleeding, which I probably have on my pirate now. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I have the mask on, but you can kind of see like the fading of it on the cheeks there. That's like my favorite curse in the game, even though I know some people don't like it as much. I just think it looks pretty unique. It's kind of a little bit low key, but if we were to have like that kind of thing in the game where it's like you could do like a ritual with the Order of Souls or something, you could have like that kind of eye. You could have like make your eyes blind, which would be pretty cool looking. You can maybe even make them like we already kind of can make them like the glowing eyes, like the Pirate Legend one with the Pirate Legend curse. But stuff like that, you could do unique stuff that's not just changing the eye color, which would be pretty cool. Alright. Oh, one thing that I was thinking about, maybe I can clip this into a separate video here. With the skeleton camps that we have, right? So they have this Orb of Souls that they were going to do for Season 19 that's now canceled content. So they canceled that. I thought one idea that they could do, their idea was to make it a new voyage that they do separately. They could have updated the skeleton camps and have that, the orb that you get from the skeleton camps, be that same Orb of Souls, and make it so that you kind of have a reason to go back to skeleton camps, because it would have something unique. So you go to the skeleton camps, and they're like a quick thing to do. You can get the orb, you can either sell it immediately, or you could take that Orb of Souls, and then be able to go and like do a skeleton fort or something else after, and that would allow you to be able to get, like, increase the value of that orb. That would have been a perfect use of these skeleton camps, and it kind of is a no-brainer to me. I'm not sure why they thought to make a new voyage out of it. And I think that would have fit in with what they were talking about when they said that they don't want to keep throwing content into the game. They want to kind of make more meaningful additions. And that could have been like a really meaningful addition, I think, because it would have taken something like the skeleton camps that already exist in the game and then give them more of a purpose, more of a reason for players to go to it. Because right now, I have a little bit of a fondness for the skeleton camps because I think they're just kind of a nice, like, low-key type of activity. And the constellation puzzle is pretty unique compared to other stuff in the game. But for the most part, people just don't go and do them. I don't really see that many people interested in these anymore. So I think that would be pretty cool. Dark Warlock says, plus I don't like how it took them years to add capacity, but it was really cool to have such customization. One thing they must stop is reskinning of existing cosmetics. I am so tired of these color resolute ones that they've been doing, like where it's like the yellow resolute or like blue resolute or whatever. They're just basic default items or colors, and like I don't know why they're even making them. That almost makes me wonder like if they were ever gonna go like towards like a free to play model, and maybe they were preparing for that, kind of like how they were doing like weird things leading up to the PlayStation release. I don't know if that's what they were trying to do, but I don't know. I'm really hoping to get away from that. We've had some better cosmetics this season, I would say. And if you've seen the rewards that you can get for doing combinations and stuff for the Ashen Garrisons, it's actually pretty nice in-game cosmetics to get. I thought they were going to be powered important cosmetics when I first saw them, but they are earnable in-game. So I gotta give them credit there. I really do try to give the Rare and the developers credit when I feel like I enjoy something that they're doing, and I think it's a good idea, even if it might not be like fully well implemented. But like stuff like the Ashen Garrisons, I'm excited for, even though it might not be super unique. The new cosmetics that they're doing for Season 18, I feel like I've gotten better. But for some reason, they have just, for like a whole year or like a year and a half or whatever, they were just doing those boring freaking colors, like the basic colors. So we need a butterfly, bat, and crab, or spider, whatever that is. And I think those are both of them right there. Ooh, can we grab that? Actually, I don't know if this is the one I need. I think... We'll see in a second. Ah, you kidding me? Is this not counting? That's annoying. Alright, let's just move them all forward. Okay, that should be a good spot for that. Honestly, with this, like, the skeleton camps I feel like are really designed for two people. You have like one person on the wheel, one person like back here. When you're solo, like, I mean, you could do it obviously, but I definitely think it's more of a pain and less fun to do. But they need, like, a lot of people want to crap on like every update that we've had. I feel like the skeleton camps were a unique addition. Were they long lasting in terms of how much everyone loved it? No. Still, at least unique and interesting. At least this beginning part. When you fight the skeletons, though, that kind of becomes lame. And I think that was also the problem with the Burning Blade, too, is that they decided that they were going to try to incentivize people to do the skeleton camps by having it be the only activity for the Burning Blade, which then made it so that no one did the Burning Blade. Where'd the butterfly go? Might be able to get it from there. Alright, so Mist says, I don't understand why the Eternal Guard can spend outside the Devil's Roar if the key is practically useless. That's exactly what I thought. Like, I think the only reason they did that is because they know that they've been adding stuff that no one uses. So if they make it so that it's outside the Devil's Roar, then they basically they want people to keep doing the Eternal Guard after everyone's done being in the Devil's Roar. That's kind of my thought with that. I think having to sell the key for the combination stuff, or just selling in general, is completely pointless and it's dumb. They did it with the Ancient Bolts, which made sense back then, but I don't know. You just don't get enough value for doing the Eternal Guard if you just sell the key. So I don't really get why having it outside the Devil's Roar. I feel like Season 18 really missed the mark with that, because they should have made it so that the Devil's Roar felt unique to be in. The Ashen Garrisons could be a good step, unless they're too similar to the Sea Forts. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to actually try them out and see. Maybe I'll do that on Insiders live stream. Usually I do that just on my own, and I try to get like ready for a guide, try to figure it out and stuff, so that can help y'all be prepared when the update comes out. Then maybe we can do that as a live stream in a couple weeks, whenever the weekend before it comes out. But no, I completely agree. I don't know why they thought to put it outside the Devil's Roar. It really just kind of negates the idea of this being a Devil's Roar update if it's just available everywhere. What else we see? Dark Warlock says, yeah, I'll give them where credit is due, but yeah, they must stop with this stuff. I want something new, not a reskin of XYZ. Exactly, and like, I've just stopped buying cosmetics because there's nothing been interesting to grab. And, you know, the one thing that I will say in terms of grind, I am actually okay with like having cosmetics that like have like a big price tag to them. That's the kind of grind I'm okay with, where it's like, you're not forced to play the game in one certain way. If it's like gold based, where you have to get like a large gold amount, you can get gold however you want. You can steal it, you can go do a voyage, you can go do a world event. It doesn't really matter what you do. The grinds that I don't like is when you have to play one particular way. Like I have to go and fight 7 Eternal Guards and sell their key and get like no value out of it because it's only worth like 2,000 gold. That's the kind of grinds that I don't like, and that's not even like a big grind. Like the other big grinds are like the all the Hunter's Call stuff that was added in season 15, or the like the Reaper Voyage stuff that we got, and the season 16. They started getting a little bit better with it because I think too many people tried feedbacking on that, but yeah, there's a lot they could do to fix that kind of stuff in the game. Oh, where'd you go? There you go. I actually don't come to this skeleton fort or skeleton camp that often, so I'm not really sure where the ammo chest is for this. It might have been up top. Usually they are, but I didn't need it. They should give Reaper's Hideout dash and garrison treatment. No way Flameheart can stand living in that shipwreck. See, that's the thing, like, so we were talking about a new map and stuff. I think we would be perfectly fine if they started upgrading existing places. Like Reaper's Hideout, they should upgrade. They used to do that in the past. If you remember what Reaper's Hideout used to be, it was like this old, it was just like this random island, and there was nothing really that special to it. They also did the same thing with the Fort of the Damned, so like, I'm not going to try to bash Will, obviously. Will's great. I play with him a lot, and he has his perspective, I have my perspective, and it's fine that they're different. But when it comes to a new map, I think a lot of people overlook that you can upgrade the map over time. The Fort of the Damned was just a regular skeleton fort before they changed it and made it a new fort. And it has like the same shape and design as it used to be, just it has like, it's now like darker and all that stuff is a little bit more spooky and everything. And it has obviously a different type of gameplay mechanic. You can completely do that. There's nothing stopping them from doing new types of gameplay on existing islands and upgrading them. Same thing with Golden Sands Outpost turning into Port Merrick. Now that's a much bigger change, a much grander change, but still the concept remains the same. Like, there is no reason why we need a new map. They can upgrade the existing map. And I still am a fan of the idea of like...
Good evening, sir. Could I interest you in some keggable arrangements this fine evening?
Dang it. Well, and that's also the reason why I don't love skeleton camps. I got a blunderbuss, even though it's probably gone. That ship. Oh well. Dang it. A little too rusty, guys. That ship's gone, though. Yeah, anyways, they should just upgrade some of the items on the game. Well, that was a little bit of a disappointment. Sorry for that, y'all. No big gameplay this time. Did he already take the orb? I'm assuming he's later on the island, or if it's over here. I'm not letting him take that if it's here still. Now there's multiple of them. And they're dead. Oh well. Yeah, honestly, I kind of knew that there was a good chance of getting attacked there. I wasn't really caring because I was just chatting on stream. I saw that brig when we were at Crook's Hollow. When we were getting there, but a lot of people are less aggressive usually now, from what I've noticed. I stopped like being as paranoid, which maybe I should be. So, to those that call me a sweat lord in comments and say that I just try to ruin people's days, show them this clip. I too feel the plight of the PvE here. I don't even know why I'm raising that. I don't really need that. I will say, like, okay, so look at, like, my situation there, right? One of the problems with Sea of Thieves currently is that, like, because of diving mechanic and other stuff like that, no one's really keeping loot on their ship. Yeah, I had that one orb. Okay. For me, I don't even know if that would be worth me going and selling that after I would steal it from someone, if it was a reverse situation. It just... They need to bring meaning to a lot of the stuff in the game. I wish they would make the Reaper Sword and the Heavy Sword their own weapon types to encourage more melee variety. Make Reaper's quick with parry to reflect damage, and Heavy Sword, heavy overhead attack. That could be cool. I'd want to see how they'd implement it to know if I like it or not. I feel like those might be too similar, because look at something like the double barrel pistol that they added, right? That's very similar to the current flintlock that we have in the game, but it basically you can shoot faster, or you can do like the 2-shot and do a little bit more damage. So like they kind of tried that with the guns, and I feel like the double barrel pistol no one really uses or likes just because it's kind of pointless in the game. So I think like that might be an issue, but like then again, things could be implemented well, and that could be work out well. I think you see the same thing with like the throwing knives. I think I would rather see them do stuff like the throwing knives, where it's a little bit more unique, but you could use it in some of the ways you're talking about. Like the throwing knives, you can use as a melee weapon that can like you stab, and it's like a very quick attack type thing that does a little bit of damage. So you know, I would like something that's a little bit more of a departure, but I see what you're asking for. Dark Warlock says, the only way the cosmetics can be interesting is to introduce new types of cosmetics that people would want, like necklaces and bracelets. There's rings, but why isn't any of those in game? I feel like the rings they should be adding more to. That's probably because they want to limit them toward the Pirate Emporium. I feel like rings are less of a interesting thing to me, to be honest, because a lot of times like I'm wearing gloves and I don't really see my hands that often unless like I'm holding my sword out and I'm like inspecting my hand like this. Most of the time I don't see it. What I would really want to see is more ship customization. Like, how come we've had the game for almost 8 years now, and there's no customization for the map table here? There's no real reason why the map table can't get, like, a cool version to it, or something to, like, or cool cosmetics to go with it. And even, like, say, like, the ammo box where, well, maybe not those. Those probably should stay the same. But, let's look around. The ladders on the ship. And the lanterns, those two things should be updated to have different cosmetics. I would love to have lanterns like the Fairy of the Dam, where it's like the open flame coming out of it. Those are the type of cosmetics that I would like to see, like new cosmetic types. But I also think just interesting cosmetics in general will keep people engaged. Like, the problem with cosmetics right now is that, one, they're easy to buy, and which is not necessarily a bad thing, but for someone like me who has a bunch of gold, if there's a cosmetic that I like, there's no grind for me to do for that because I could just buy it immediately. Not everyone's going to be like that, but a lot of players, I think, are. I wouldn't mind stuff like the Dark Adventurer set. For me, I just didn't like the look of the Dark Adventurer set, so it never appealed to me. But something like that where it's a big price tag to it, but it's some kind of unique cosmetic that looks really cool, could work out pretty well. Mist has axes that hit harder and can block, and then you can throw, but you only get 2 or 3. Yeah, so like kind of like an evolution on the throwing knives, but with axes. That could be really cool. I would like that. And maybe you could use the axe to do something interesting, like maybe you could hang off of stuff with it. I know they already have the hanging mechanic, but maybe they could do something else with that. You know what's funny right now? It's probably good that Will got off, because if that happened to us, me and him while he's still on, he definitely would have rage quit and get mad at the game. I usually just kind of let it roll off my shoulders. I don't really care too much if I get stolen from. Unless it's like a chest of fortune. That's the only thing that I would care about getting stolen from me. What do I want to do? Let's see, what should I do? Yeah, I stopped caring about Hunter's Call distinctions when I realized you can't wear the distinction rings with gloves, even if the gloves don't cover your fingers, and I gave up on Hunter's Call. Yep, I mean, for me, I kind of just slowly progress them. Like, I like having the long-term goal, so like I'll eventually get to like the 500 max for all of them or whatever, but I'm not gonna like rush to get it done. That's not how I usually play the game. Dark Warlock says, oh, I guess the message got deleted, so if you want to add that again, or reword it, do whatever you need to do. Ooh, bone collar. Let's see if there's any sort of deed that needs to get done. Apparently with this Ashen garrison that we're about to have, there's a chance to have like mega sessions with a bunch of chest of bones in it, so I'm probably going to wait for that to get those. I don't know if there's anything for stealing the chest of bones. Oh, I need to do quests in the Devil's Roar with the skeletons. I need 3 more of those, so maybe we'll do something out there. Miss says, for in terms of cosmetics, that he'd like to see lanterns, harpoons, and compass cosmetics. Well, we have compass I guess you mean the compass on the ship. Honestly, they could probably make it so that the compasses that we already have, like for in our hand, they could probably make that so that it could work on the ship. I don't think there's any reason why these like same cosmetics that they already have couldn't work on the ship, and then they could just keep adding to it. The bell too. Yeah, the bell would be cool. Though there's only so much that you could do with the bell, I feel like. I was trying to think of stuff that I could be a little bit more. I don't know if I already set up with the ladder on the ship, like on the side of the ship, would be really cool. Like I'd want to have one that's similar to the Black Pearl from the Pirates of the Caribbean Tall Tales, where it's like less of a rope ladder, but more of like just like planks on the side. That would be really cool. There's so much that they could do, and honestly, like they're talking about how they need to make money and stuff for this game, and they're not even doing like basic stuff like that, like adding new cosmetics types that they could sell both in the Outpost and in the Pirate Emporium. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of running around. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of looking at chat and talking, not really thinking. Well, let me check real quick if there's anything new in the shipwright shop. It's been a while since I checked. I don't know if they've added anything in the last couple months.
Need anything?
Anyways, Dark Warlock says, what if there is a set of armor that can add as a cosmetic set into the game that needs to be unlocked via accommodations? Plus, in my opinion, costumes were a mistake to be added to the game. I am personally a fan of the costumes purely because they don't have clothing presets in the game. So costumes are really nice because you can just put them on and it doesn't remove your clothing that you already had on. So you kind of just temporarily put it on. So I like clothing, I like costumes for that reason. And they can also do some unique things with costumes that you can't necessarily do with other outfits in the game. So those are some of the reasons that I like that. But I get why some people might not like it. And if you're talking about armor where it actually like protects you instead of just being all cosmetic based, I'm not sure how I would feel about that, just because I feel like I like how the game is where everyone's on a same level playing field. I think Sea of Thieves should continue having like a flat progression where it's just cosmetic or reputation or whatever as your progression. But look at this. This is like a true example of why Sea of Thieves cosmetics are in a terrible state right now. So we have the green default set, we have a white default set, a purple default set, even though that sail's pretty cool looking. I like the design on it. At least they have like custom designs for each of them, but still, it's like, okay, then you have your orange set. Then they did give us a unique one. I did kind of grind out for these ones when it was the Reaper Forts. This was a pretty cool one. I do really like this capstan. That was a really cool capstan that they did. But then we go back to a russet color set, a green set, which that one also had a pretty cool design, like the graphic on it. And then a yellow set, a blue set. I don't know. That was like a terrible time for the game. Like I don't know if they're just can't think of new ideas. Maybe they should do something like what Fortnite does, or Fortnite used to do, where they would take like concepts from players and they'd introduce them into the game. Also, where's the Hunter's Call? There it is. If they just did that, honestly, that would, like, I think help a lot for them. Would be cool if they overhauled ships so that there was a different variant with different rigging types or whole ships with pros and cons for each of them. That could be interesting. Sometimes I worry about overcomplicating the game. Sometimes, like, a more simple design, like how it is right now, is a bit better. Oops. I almost would rather just have tools in the game that can get some of those pros and cons. Like we have the Cannon of Rage and we have the Wind Caller that can kind of get those different advantages that you're talking about. It's not only just keeping it simple, but I also think that people would get bored of having those different ones pretty quickly if they're not continuing to add to them. That's just my thought with that. Let me dive to a voyage and then I'll read some more chat real quick. I would have done the boar hunting, but I forgot to grab a hunting spear. Let's just... Oh, we were talking about doing something in the Devil's Roar, but they don't have any of these for the Devil's Roar, which is kind of annoying. Let's just do a sea fort. And I want a pistol for this one. I'm kind of tired of throwing knives for now. Alright, Dark Warlock says, costumes are just lazy, to be completely honest. A waste of materials that can be directed towards making new cosmetics. I get that sentiment. I truly do. And if they had clothing presets in the game, I would basically be all on board with that mindset. For me right now, I think just costumes just work better for me, and I tend to use costumes more than I use individual clothing items. That's just how I play, because I hate spending so much time resetting all my clothing back to the way that I like it before. So I usually just like to put the costume on if I want to just change it up for a moment. But if they had clothing presets in the game, I'd be on that same boat with you, saying the same thing. I do think costumes, though, you can do unique things like this. The Dark Warsmith is kind of like a noob skin at this point, but taking that as an example, having like kind of the skeleton look with it. Yes, you have the skeleton curse in the game, but it's kind of an example of like you doing something unique that you can't really do with like just regular clothing, cosmetic items in the game. I also said, I remember when Captaincy came out, I thought you'd be able to buy just about any object already in the game and put it on your ship and rearrange the ship to your liking. The fact that they didn't made me realize we're never getting real customization. One thing that would have been really cool is they had talked about a concept before, which probably would have been difficult to do, to be honest, but it would have been really cool, is where you'd be able to basically take pictures in-game with like a sort of mystical like camera type device in the game, and then you'd be able to have that as a painting that you could hang up on your ship. And that would have been a really cool concept, I think. Because we already have paintings in the game, and they're cool. I like the animated paintings we got for the guild ledger now. But that would have been something really unique to do, and it would have made it so that I would feel like changing my trinkets or paintings that are hanging on the wall more often if I was just like taking new screenshots back. Oh, this is a cool one. Let me hang it up. And then Miss says, clothing presets are a must. They are fumbling so bad not adding presets. I don't know why it's taken them so long. Like, I know ship presets were the one that needed to get done first, but that was like, what, 3 years now, maybe yeah, 3 years now at least. It might be 4. That was like 2022 or 2023. But I don't know. They are fumbling a lot with that. There's a lot you could do with all the mechanics in the game. Like I could spend an hour talking about like any sort of little thing. Like we could talk about sea forts, we could talk about captaincy, we could talk about guilds. And the thing is, once they add something in the game, they rarely go back and update it. The hourglass thing is a perfect example of like that being a rare chance. And it's been like 2 or 3 years since that was introduced. For a real guild endgame, they should... I'm not gonna get up here. They should add guild hideouts that are separate hangouts lobbies. Yes, I think that's like something they definitely need. I've been talking about wanting hideouts for a long time. If we were talking about like a big update, you know, I was asked Will that question earlier, and obviously I have that video talking about like my dream season for Sea of Thieves, and now we're talking about the Great Maritime Union. Another one that would be like not necessarily like an activity to do in terms of like a new type of fort or a new type of world event or something. It would be more of like a casual, your pirate oasis type update, where there'd be like 2 big features of the update. The first part would be getting your own private island when you saved up enough gold, and it would take a long time to get to. Maybe it would make it like, I don't know, how much gold do I have? 26 million? Maybe it'd make it like 50 million gold or something. So like, for someone like me, I would have to like really grind out for it. Like I want something that's like a long-term grind. Like that, or you know, maybe make it not that high, maybe make it 10 million so it's a little bit more achievable for people, but then have like stuff that you can do like expansions to it that cost another like 10 million or so or whatever. And then I think you should make it so that you spawn at your hideout that you have, right? And then you could sail directly out of it, similar to how you sail from the maiden voyage, where like the shroud opens up and you can sail into the game. If they can make it so that you don't go to the main menu, you just sail like directly into it, even if there has to be like a loading screen or something like that, I think that would all be really cool. But make it so that like our guild hideout either lives in the Sea of the Damned or lives like in a little pocket of the Shroud, similar to how the Maiden Voyage Island is. And then the other big part of that update that I would want to see is have like mini games that you could play, and they could be played at your hideout, they could be played at the taverns, or they could be played on your ship. And this would be stuff like card games, like blackjack. It would be stuff like pirate checkers, pirate chess, things like that. And there's a lot of kegs here. Did y'all notice that? And it would just be like all sorts of games. They could add more to it over time, even though we know Rare has a history of adding stuff and not continuing to add back to it. But I would like to see like a few card games and stuff. And this might be asking for too much for one update, but maybe they could make a follow-up update to it, where it's almost like a casino type update, where that Sea Dog Tavern that we have in the middle of the island, or the middle of the map, you could go there and you could play against other players, and you could basically either bet money or you could make like a certain amount of money for every time you win. And maybe there's like a leaderboard or stuff, or you know, maybe not a leaderboard, that might not really matter much, but you know, they could just do a lot with it. They could have like a whole casino thing with it. I think it should be really cool. There's just so many possibilities with Sea of Thieves. That's why I hate when I see in the comments, it's like, well, it's been 8 years. What else could they do with the game? I could spend all day talking about things that they could do with the game. Things that they haven't even touched. Clothing presets are like a small addition that they could do that they should have probably already done by now. And then bigger additions are like guild hideouts or just pirate hideouts in general. Mini games to play on your ship with other players and really embrace that like shared world aspect of the game. There's so much that they could do. Miss says they would have to keep their kid-friendly age rating. They're not a kid-friendly age rating currently. It's rated teen. So like, I don't think that would have to change at all, to be honest. And maybe like, as long as you can't gamble real money, and there's no way to like transfer like ancient coins to gold or anything like that, then there should be no reason. The main reason that you would have to raise a rating for that, I think, would be if you could bet real money. That would be the main reason. And I don't think they should do that. I'm talking about just in-game money, and that's all you'd be able to bet. And I'm not even saying that they have to do that. I just think it would make that a lot more worth it and make it a cool experience. Like, I could walk in to either a tavern or I could walk into the Sea Dogs hideout and, you know, be like, yo, you're down for a game? And we could just play a game? Or imagine the people that, like, you know, when you ever have those weird encounters where someone's like, okay, well, who gets the chest of fortune? Maybe you're in an alliance or something. You could literally just hop on, you could hop on someone's ship and say, like, alright, whoever wins this game of blackjack gets the chest of fortune. And like, that's how you could decide it. Because right now people just do, like, the dice game or whatever to, like, sell stuff like that if they don't want to fight each other. I don't know, I think it just could unlock so many possibilities. See if these do Vegas, exactly. Sorry, I'm kind of missing some of the chats right now, but it sounds like we're towards the end here, so I should be able to blow this guy up in a second. Oh, that would have been great, like, the way you... Oh, I think you were talking about the pictures. Come on, little guy. There we go. Alright, let me catch up on some of these. I respect your opinions on costumes, and they must do more with the taverns, like a gambling room upstairs. Yeah, if they could, they have that upstairs room that they've been teasing for, like, forever, about, like, there being something up there. That'd be cool. It says, as long as you can't gamble with ancient coins, it should be fine. Yeah, as long as it's in-game, it should be okay. I think I've even played other games where you can, like, bet, like, in-game currency, and it was fine. It says, doesn't adding any reference to involving two or more of drugs, alcohol, gambling? Well, they already have references to alcohol in the game with Grog. You can already drink in the game. There's no drugs, luckily. Unless you want to ask what the merchants are shipping to each other. Is that really tea that they have in those crates? I'm not sure. But, no, I think it should be fine. But I could be totally wrong. But either way, it's still a rated teen game. It's not a rated everyone game. And I also think, if we're talking about, like, pirate fantasy, pirates definitely gambled. They played, like, card games and stuff. They were gambling. Even I think inside some of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Oh, there it is. It's hard to see some of this stuff. Yeah, so I don't think it would actually be an issue. Really the only thing that would be an issue is if there was a way to basically gamble real money. And that would be an issue, but as long as they don't do that, as long as it's just gold. And honestly, I would love something to spend gold on that could be, like, repetitive, that's not just cosmetic-based. Because, like, I have enough gold. Like, if I went into, like, the little gambling place and I spent 50,000 gold gambling in there, that'd be fun. And then, you know, the people that are like, well, I just lost all my gold in the thing. Do like I did. Just go to a seafort. Make a bunch of bank. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and sell this because we're not close to no grade. So, I know, I've heard that feedback, though, before, because I talked about it in previous videos, and people have said the same thing about it needing to be family-friendly, even though it's game rated for teen. This game's definitely not family-friendly, even though a lot of kids play this game, and I've even had my brother play, which is a pretty funny video on my channel from a long time ago, if you haven't seen it. I left him in charge of the stream one time and just let him play Sea of Thieves, and he had no idea what he was doing. It was pretty funny to watch and edit that. But Mist, what you're forgetting is that they already have alcohol in the game with Grog. That's a reference to drinking in the game, and you can already get drunk and stuff. So, if that were the case, this would already be rated M, and I'm pretty sure it's rated teen. Y'all can go check that for me if you want. You can go look it up. It should be on any of the store pages for where Sea of Thieves is sold at. And I think it even shows up on any of the trailers too. I'm pretty sure it's rated teen. Last time I checked. Dark Warlock says, some things about piracy in Sea of Thieves isn't there, and I would prefer Sea of Thieves go more into a darker atmosphere in terms of realism. Piracy isn't sunshine and rainbows. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a fantasy world, and we're going into like mystical stuff. It's much more in line with like Pirates of the Caribbean type of influences, but that doesn't mean that we can't have things like gambling and stuff like that. And maybe if they're really concerned about people becoming too having problems with like the gambling aspect in it, maybe they make it so that the casino limit is you can only spend 10,000 gold per day or 50,000 gold per day, or you get like cut off or something, or maybe you get cut off if you lose too many times, or whatever the case may be. And maybe that it could even be like cool like in-game role playing type stuff where you have like a little pirate bouncer in there who like kicks you out and you're like locked out of the casino for like a certain amount of time. So then you have to go and like do some kind of other activities to get more money back. One of the reasons I'm really like pushing for that casino idea is just because I feel like one of the problems with Sea of Thieves is we can always say like, oh, we need more cosmetic types, we need more of this to spend money on, but eventually we're just gonna get to more and more diminishing returns with that aspect, of course. With that. But with like the gamma aspect, like yeah, I'd be perfectly fine losing like all my gold and just have fun going in there, to be honest. Because, like, I have nothing to spend my gold on. Like, yes, I kind of like seeing the number go up and collecting it, but I'm also just kind of, I have no thing that I really care to spend it on. That's the main reason why I've just started collecting it and hoarding it. But I think you could also do stuff with the pirate hideouts to help with that. Obviously, new cosmetics there. Maybe a cool thing that they could do is the more gold that you have in your account, maybe you can see, like, your own little vault at your pirate hideout. So if you have like just a little bit of gold, it's like a very tiny vault with nothing much in it, and then the more gold that you get in your game, it becomes bigger and bigger of a stockpile, and then you can go like play around with it. Kind of like that one scene in Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it's even in the Tall Tales where it's like those piles of gold with a chair at the top of it that you can sit on. Stuff like that, like I think would be cool. And like I want to give gold more of a meaning. Like they're kind of trying to do that with the balloons. They're trying to reset the balloons. But we have to think of unique ways to like fix the gold problem, because I'm not incentivized to do stuff for gold anymore. Like I'm kind of just doing like these sea forts and other stuff just because I'm just here talking with y'all, but not because I'm like trying to get gold or anything. The only other thing I'm trying to do is get my hunter's call emissary up just so that I can get those emissary ledger rewards and catch up a bit. What comes to mind when you think of Sea of Thieves going towards a darker direction besides the gambling? I don't know, I'd have to think about that more. I think that was commentless for who mentioned the darker route before, so if you want to answer that, feel free to. For me, I'm not really sure. I'd have to think a little bit more on that, to be honest. Man, they need better Hunter's Call stuff, because I don't really like doing these things, but let's just go for that. What else could they do besides gambling? That's like kind of going more in the Pirates route. I think you'd have to be careful of certain things with the piracy route. Like, I wouldn't want them to do, like, human trafficking or anything like that. Like, we don't want that in Sea of Thieves. Even if that is fitting in with the pirates stuff, I don't really want that in the game. Gambling is very different than that, I think, if we're going like on the darker side of things. Otherwise, I don't really know what else there would be left that in terms of like a gameplay mechanic that's like inspired by like old piracy type of like mythology or things that they actually did. So, yeah, feel free to throw ideas in there. I think that here's one comment that says, I think that orb idea where you absorb the souls of skellies was dark, but then they cut it. Yeah, I don't know if you were here earlier when I was talking about that, but they were talking about the reason why they cut it is because they want to add more meaningful content that isn't just like thrown in the game. What they should have done is they already have that developed, and we have an orb that sits at skeleton camps. Why not kill two birds with one stone? You add a new piece of content in the game that has a unique mechanic, and then you upgrade an existing thing that not too many people are playing. So make that orb that you get at the skeleton camps this new orb that sucks in the souls. That would have been really cool, and it would give people reasons to go back to the skeleton camps, and it would have added a new mechanic that would have been cool to use. I actually think that Orb of Souls, while it's not like going to be game changer in the sense that it's not going to be, you know, the thing that saves Sea of Thieves, I thought it was a pretty interesting idea, and I thought it worked pretty well when I tried it in Insiders about a month ago. I don't know why they didn't just release it and then go with their new plan to make bigger updates. But that's just my thought. I'm not sure to have an answer to the game, but Gongo says, hello, love games and playing. So, well, I love Sea of Thieves too. I just like to try to push to make it better and hopefully see it grow, get more players, have more people interested in it, and hopefully last for a long time. Because really what my worry is right now is that Sea of Thieves is going to be in a state where essentially Microsoft's looking at them saying, hey, you need to get your crap together and start making some money off this game, which in turn means make the game actually good and like not only fix like all the glaring issues that we're having with the game, but also make it so that you're having good, consistent quality updates that are bringing people into the game. And then Microsoft will be happy. But I'm worried that Microsoft's very much in a layoff and cutting cost mood over the last few years. So I could definitely see them saying that to Rare, like maybe that's why they made this sudden change recently. I could totally see them saying something like, you know, you have one more year to get it together or we're shutting it down. And that's, I think, what the big scary scenario should be for all of us Sea of Thieves players. They'd likely probably leave the servers active, but I could see them laying off all of Rare, because when Rare tried to make another game with Everwild, they couldn't make it work. They couldn't figure it out for some reason. So Sea of Thieves is all they have left over there. So if Microsoft's not happy with what they're doing with it, with Sea of Thieves, and it's not being profitable enough, then they really don't have any reason to keep it going. Which would be really sad. Which is why, like, you know, when people say that I'm just hating on the game, like some of those comments in the most recent video on the channel, that's why I don't understand those comments. I'm trying to help the game succeed, giving them ideas, maybe because it seems like they don't know what they're doing. And I don't want to see them get shut down and lose their jobs and all that stuff. Oh wait, does this tell me where to look on here? No, it just says somewhere on here. There's nothing. Cool. I think I might finish up this voyage and then might be done for the night. So if anyone has any lingering thoughts on the state of Sea of Thieves or anything in general, feel free to share. Ooh. Is that a sunken? That's a sunken ship, right? It kind of looks a little weird. We got another ship out there too. Gotta be careful not have a repeat of before. Man, ever since I said the idea though about the like Orb of Souls or whatever it's called and having that at the skeleton camps, I feel like that's a no-brainer idea. I wish they really did that, because like we saw, like the risk of being underground where you can't see anyone approaching is one of the like biggest reasons why people don't do that. So you have to have something like really enticing that's not just, oh, it's a high value item, because there's high value items everywhere in the game. There's nothing really that special in terms of what you get there. Okay, where is this freaking boar at? But thanks again for everyone that's been joining us and hanging out. I totally forgot that there was a spoiler thing here. I was about to run right into that trap. I'm not gonna go in there. Usually the boards I thought were above ground, but I don't know if they might appear down here. Someone left this here. Yeah, not gonna lie, I don't like the Hunter's Call content in the game that we currently have. I really wish that they did some like thing like really unique with that Hunter's Call update that we got. Like they could have added like a crabbing voyage, that would have been really cool. Or just crabbing activity doesn't even have to be a voyage, to be honest. They could have added a new sea monster that you go and hunt down, or sea monster campaign, where you have a couple sea monsters that worked in like a campaign style. Could have been cool. This boar hunting was like the most unique thing that they added, and I don't know. For one, I can't even find it here. Which I guess is the hunting part. So, I guess I got that, but you're supposed to be like able to see like tracks or stuff, but I don't ever see like tracks when I do these. I usually just have to find like where the little pile is. Miss says, we needed more reasons to do order world events, scouting camps, shrines, treasuries, vaults, sea forts, those kinds of things that were mostly one and dones. I definitely agree. I think the sea forts and siren treasuries work a little bit better because they are a lot more replayable content. But definitely the skeleton camps, I think what we were talking about with that orb that they were developing could have worked great to revitalize that. The shrines are a hard thing to do. I really love the shrines in the game, so I wouldn't want to ever see them get rid of it if they were to like do a reset or sequel or whatever, because I do think they are a really great piece of content. But yeah, I don't know what you would really do for that other than... Oh, I heard it. Y'all hear that? Where are you? Oh, there's this footprints. But there it is. Die, die, die. The other world events, yeah, like, I think there's ways that they could revitalize them. They kind of try to do that with the Skeleton Forts recently, with the Reaper Forts. But the problem with the Reaper Forts is it was just recycling content that already existed with, just with, like, the ghost ships and stuff. I'll give them credit for trying to revitalize the Skeleton Forts. I think they did somewhat of a better job. Like, somewhat of an okay job with that. Especially since that wasn't the main season content, which is why I was never that critical against them. But, yeah. Imagine if... Dark Warlock says this. Imagine if they added a world event where you have to take on 2 different sea monsters while at the same time they're fighting each other. That would be fun and add challenge as well. Yeah, different sea monsters while at the same time. Yeah, I could see that. It might be hard for the server, which just gets into that conversation we were talking about earlier with Will about why they would either need to do like a full, like a reset, like a soft reboot of the game, kind of, which is what I was more advocating for, or like what he was saying, where it's like a sequel to the game. I just don't think the game's engine or the servers, and especially not the Xbox One hardware, can handle 2 like sea monsters like that. It already kind of struggles with the multiple war events that we already have in the game. But I totally get it. I think that would be a cool addition. So I'm not disagreeing. So, like, something I saw recently is that someone was saying that Rare should be less transparent with us about the game. And that they think that the transparency is the reason why they get so much hate. I feel like in some ways I wish they would be a little bit more transparent with, like, the limitations that they're facing. Like, tell us if there's reasons why certain things can't be added because of the engine, or because of server performance, or because of old Xbox One support, which I know would, you know, be a bad look for them. I think they should just get rid of Xbox One support. So many people already think that it's not even supported anymore anyways. It's been like, what, 5, 6 years? Yeah, it's been like 7 years. I think they came out in 2019 when the Xbox Series X and S came out. And same with PlayStation 5. So we've had we're getting close to a decade, I think, with these new consoles, or not even new consoles, just current gen consoles. It's time to get rid of Xbox One support and upgrade some of this stuff. Yeah, Dark Warlock agrees with the ending Xbox One support. Upgrading the game engine would be a big ask, a tall order, it'd basically be recreating the game, from what I am aware of. But otherwise, I think that would be a really cool thing for them to do. And if they would, I could see the main reason you would make it a Sea of Thieves 2 is for marketing reasons, not for gameplay reasons, I would say. Because like what I'm talking about is essentially rebooting the game and making a sequel, but with the same map and stuff, but stripping out the stuff that's not working, making it like a basically solid in the sense of performance, and then basically, where's my other Grizzlies? There we go. And then it'd basically just be the same thing as like a sequel that people are talking about, but everyone that has access to the game would still be able to play it and that kind of stuff. The only reason you would want a sequel like that is so that you can basically market it as a new thing to players, to people that aren't actually playing the game already. And for places like IGN and stuff to review it again and not have like the bad review scores that it had when the game first launched. Because that would be the other main reason I think you could do it. But from gameplay side, I don't think there's much of a reason to do that. The other thing you could do is that you could charge people more money to buy a new copy of the game. I also think if they were to make a sequel, even though it didn't work out well for Overwatch, free-to-play might work out well for Sea of Thieves, especially if they're going to start going down this, like, the subscription service for Sea of Thieves, these other monetization additions to the game, and everything else that they're doing. I think it just makes sense at this point. And that would be the best thing to bring more people in. I know people that, like, would be interested in playing Sea of Thieves, but won't give it a chance because it's not free, and they don't even want to spend $20 or whatever it is usually when it goes on sale, which it goes on sale a lot. But I know I said I was gonna probably end it there. Let me see, real quick message. What was that? I'll do like another voyage. Y'all been great. I think this might be one of my biggest streams. Maybe not biggest streams in terms of concurrent viewers, but like for overall throughout the course. So thanks everyone that's been hanging out. It's been a lot of fun to chat with y'all about all this. I don't want to do another skeleton camp after what happened earlier. Maybe we'll do that again another day. I kind of want like another raid voyage type, even though raid voyages are slightly a problem in the game when we talk about diving. But I like that the raid voyages are like an activity that you can do for any of the trading companies or most of the trading companies. So it gives them all a little bit more content, even if it's not specifically for them. But let's just do a Trek Meg voyage. I don't even think I've done one of these since they first came out. So I've been trying to think of what to do with the channel too for those. I thought I just unlocked a cosmetic. No, it's just the shrouded glass thing that goes with it. Use the shrouded glass to find it. One lens shows far off breach points. The other reveals nearby trails. So I'm doing this Megalodon voyage anyways, but I think if y'all remember that this is one of the problems with the reskinning of a content in the game. How come the Hunter's Call update was literally 2 reskin Megalodon activities in here, or reskin fishing activity, and then there was addition of boar hunting. And then you have some system features with like emissaries being added, which was technically a reskin of existing content, but we didn't have it for Hunter's Call, which we should have. But we're gonna do this anyways. I don't know which. Let me raise this up. Is it behind me? No. I think it should be ahead of me, right? Oh. I mean, maybe I should just fight this thing instead. I don't know why it spawned me right on Action Meg, but okay then. They heard me complaining about it, and decided to put me in my place, I guess. Was that a second Megalodon? Whoever said having two like sea monsters attack at the same time, I think this is because of you, because you said to do that. This was gonna happen. Oh, yeah, there's the one that I need to fight. Crap. Alright, well, I'm gonna just fight this, I guess. Dang. I don't know about y'all, but I much prefer fighting Barnacle Dread as opposed to this. I'm about to get hit by double mega attack. Yep. That was the actual mega fighting. Maybe I'll just cancel this Voyager for fighting the Sanctioned Mega. I'm not gonna fight both here. Have you ever played Deep Rock Galactic? It would be cool to see you play that. I don't think I've actually heard about that one. If you want to tell me a little bit more about it, but I'll try to look it up later when I get a chance. I did get just sent a new pirate game that I was gonna try out maybe on stream sometime soon. Maybe next week while we're still waiting for next Sea of Thieves update. Start fire. How did this get lit again? This is why I don't like. I prefer doing the Barnacle Dread because like you spend so much time first repairing and then, but now it's gonna have to attack again. Oh dang. Yaka says, one time I got attacked by the Kraken and Ancient Mega at the same time. That actually happened to me too. That was another crazy time. That one was a little bit easier for me to do, to be honest. I don't know. I think just two Megalodons, because they have very similar attacks, it's like getting hit back to back. I really don't like this fire one. We might be ending it from here. I might get this shit moving and just, I don't know, sail somewhere else. That's crazy that it's spawned me right on this. Alright, let's just get this up before it hits again. Take us towards the outpost. That should be spawned. Or it should stop attacking. Ooh. These ancient megalodons are no joke. Look at how much fire there is now. I would say so. Like, well, I didn't bring it up to Will because I knew he was gonna just kind of, you know, fully disagree. I think one of the problems with the old Sea of Thieves was that there was like certain activities that you like just literally could not do solo. I think Ancient Megalodon's not one of those. I'm just not really like focusing on it right now. So I'm trying to like chat and do it, and I just don't really have the will to fight it right now. But it used to be like some of the things back in the day, like that cursed sail event that we had. That was like one of the examples of like it was too hard to do solo. Oh my goodness, this is like getting dangerous. I need to just plug some water real quick. If you cannot tell by how I've been playing tonight, I have not really been playing Sea of Thieves much. I'm a little bit rusty at this point. What I need, what you really need to get when you go fight the Feared Red Maw is get a Wind Caller. That's what you need. Too bad you can't just get like a guaranteed Wind Caller if you go to like a shrine or treasure or something. Like that's what they need at the shrines. Like have that's what we were talking about kind of earlier with the Reaper or the skeleton camps in terms of like revitalizing like stuff like that. That's how you can revitalize the shrines. Make it so that there's a unique item that gives you benefit, like the wind collar. Make it a guaranteed item that you can get, and maybe make it so that you only can get it at the siren shrines. And that would bring people back down there so that they would kind of quickly go through one of those, get their wind collar for their session. And it would also maybe be a way to keep people on the server because maybe you wouldn't be able to dive with the wind collar. And you can do that with different activities, like make it so that you get... They kind of did that with the Eternal Guard if you think about it, but it was just ended up being a reskin Trident. So if it wasn't a reskin Trident, it would have been better. It was like a different item that was actually unique. But... Oh, there's still another hole. Okay. Oh, let me see. Deep Rock is kind of like Helldivers, but with stylized graphics, and you play as a drunk, goofy dwarves fighting bugs and robots while making mission control mad at you for goofing around. Oh, that sounds interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. Sadly, like here's like I guess behind the scenes with YouTube though, like with the gaming channels. Unless you're like a big creator, which maybe I'll be one day. Most people only will subscribe to you for like one game. So like if you start like deviating from that one game, you usually lose a lot of the audience. So like and you might say like that's fine to do with like one video or so, but a lot of times because if one video bombs, it hurts all the other videos that were released around it. So I try to be very careful. Like I tried to do a little bit of Lego Fortnite content because I've gotten a lot into that over the last like 2 years. I'm just gonna go ahead and lower my emissary flex. I think I'm done doing activities. I'll probably just either sail around or just hang out for a bit. But yeah, so that's a little bit behind the scenes with the YouTube stuff. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do if Sea of Thieves really is going into decline. I'm gonna hold out hope for the Grand Maritime Union update. If that comes out as like a banger update and a bunch of people are hopping on playing that and really enjoying that and everything's good, and they start doing bigger updates like that, then Sea of Thieves could have like another renaissance like we had back in 2020. If they can't get their stuff together, it might be time to figure out something new. What that new thing would be, I'm not sure. But in terms of like other games, that's the hard part. It's just that usually people like subscribe for one game and don't like when you deviate, and it kind of hurts your channel. So that's the thing I'm trying to grapple with. But I did see Miss say in here that we should have gotten the Eternal Guard's Poison Bomb as a new throwable item, and I totally agree. That's what, like, it should have been something like that the Eternal Guard drops when you kill them. So maybe it drops it on the ground. Maybe you get like 2 of them that drop. Maybe you can get like a chance for 3 of them to drop, but most of the time you get 2 guaranteed, and then you get the key. So then if you get attacked while going to the sanctuary, you'd be able to use it on the people that are fighting you, or it would give a purpose for having the Eternal Guards in the main game part of the game, that not outside of Devil's Roar. Because that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier, that the Eternal Guard doesn't really make sense to have outside of the Devil's Roar currently in its current form, because really the main reason you do the Eternal Guard is to go open the Ancient Sanctuaries, which are located in the Devil's Roar. So it's an interesting conversation. But if you had the poison bombs with that, you could have justification for it to be in the main area of the game, because then you could say like, oh, I'm just getting it for the poison bombs. That should have been a no-brainer for them to do, because I think it makes sense to have that in. It's almost like a stink bomb type of tool, and we don't really have anything like that. I mean, the only thing that I could see as a caveat to that is, in a gameplay sense, it's kind of like a firebomb, but it doesn't do like any long-term damage. Like if I throw a firebomb at someone's ship, it starts lighting their ship on fire, it does damage to that, and it also does damage to them if they get hit by the firebomb. Poison bomb, it wouldn't do any damage to the ship. The only way that you could make it so that it was still worth carrying and using is make it so that the poison effect lasts a lot longer. But that could be kind of annoying. Let's say if someone has a ton of those poison bombs, like they fill up their throwable inventory, or you have like a team of 4, a crew of 4 that comes up to you, and they just cover your whole ship with poison bombs, and you can't stand anywhere in your ship without dying. That could be a problem. But you could say the same thing already happens with fire bombs. So I don't know. I'm both talking myself in and out of that idea, but I do agree that that probably would have helped the game a bit if they did that. Make it work exactly like what the Eternal Guard does, but it's aerial something on an enemy's ship. Keep them off the cannons or pairs for like 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah, I mean, I think you'd have to have it make it be a little bit. You have to basically balance it with the other throwables in the game, and that's kind of what my point was with the firebombs. But the firebombs kind of achieve the same thing that you're wanting, but it makes it harder to get rid of that effect because you have to get water, throw it on it, and if someone leaves it, the fire can spread. So the way to basically make it so that the poison bombs are worth getting is to make it so that the poison effect lasts longer. And I think it's the best way you can do it. Or make it so that it does more damage, faster damage over time. So it's faster to kill someone if you hit them directly with it, but it's not going to do any damage to a ship. The main thing you want to do is just have it balanced with other throwables, because what you really want with throwables is to basically have it so that you want to have a good mixture of all of them. You don't want to have one throwable that's dominant, like too dominant over the other ones. Yaka says, the main problem I have with Sea of Thieves is there's too many cheaters in Asian servers. Yeah, I'm in the United States, so with the servers here, I have encountered cheaters a handful of times, but it's not as big of an issue. I know in some of the other regions, though, it's a major issue, and I have empathy for y'all that have to deal with that and just want to play the game. Dark Warlock says, once my friends and I got attacked by a Kraken, Megalodon, and Scouting Ship at once on a brig. Those are like, the times where it's like, you're both annoyed because it's happening, but it's also kind of like, it's a cool moment because it's just everything going on at the same time. But I've had those kind of situations happen when I've had a bunch of loot on the ship. There's also been annoying times where it's like when you'd be transporting like the crates from that Royal Crest Fortress event. I was trying to get like that smuggler's combination done with like, I think those the Dark Demise crates or something. So we kept trying to get it and we'd carry it, and then a skeleton ship will keep popping up and then like break the crates, and we're just like, are you freaking kidding me? And I don't know. You can take that, good ways or bad ways. I think that's one of those like random experiences that can kind of be funny if you have a good sense of humor about those things. But I'll answer any lingering questions, but I think I'm going to wrap it up. I really do appreciate everyone that's hopped on and hanged out with us for a while. I'm probably going to edit some of these portions that we talked about in this stream as clips for the next couple days. So if you maybe missed some of the parts of it, or if you don't want to go back and try to look through for some of the highlight moments, you can just wait for those clips to come out. But again, thanks for everyone that joined in. I'll stay on for like a moment or two longer, and I'm going to check some stuff on here real quick. I want to look at the deeds for Dash and Garrisons real quick while we wait for anyone to respond. Hopefully these aren't too bad. So we have to unlock the entrance to Ash and Garrison, sell any lighthouse logs. So I heard about these lighthouse logs, and I thought they were going to be a lot cooler. I thought they were going to be like a special quest that you could do, like if you got access to them. But apparently it's just like a kind of like a map bundle that you just sell. You don't do anything with it, from what I heard. I could be wrong. I want to try it out in Insiders before I give like firm confirmation on all that stuff. But that's what I've heard from a few people that were talking about it. Garrison Keymaster, defeat a Custodian, the Treasury at Ashton Garrison, unlock a locked compartment, unlock the storeroom, unlock the office room. It really just does sound like a giant sea fort, but I'm kind of okay with that. Like if you want a quick experience, you go to the sea fort. If you want more of like an expert advanced experience, go to the Ashton Garrison. Complete an emergent Ashton Garrison. Yeah, I think these are going to be a good addition. I know some people think it's just reskin. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks everyone that hopped in, and I'm going to try to do streams more often, maybe on the weekends again, like this. I know I've kind of said that before in the past, but I will try to do them a little bit more frequent. I think it's fun to have like someone like Will, or maybe I'll get my girlfriend in one time, and it's easier to like do a kind of conversation type streams like we did tonight. So look out for that in the future. But for those of y'all, have a good night. Good luck on the seas, and I'll catch you in whatever my next video ends up being. So thanks everyone. See you next time. Bye.